port is sharing the trunks?
Middle port.
Second number, right? 002.
Yeah, port number 2. Yeah,
Okay.
in the first slice 0. Yeah.
How will be the connectivity with the MD64 will be done here?
So the CFP2's connections has to go into MD64, any of the port of the MD64 individual channel ports, Suraj.
So this frequency will be auto-tuned here?
No, you have to tune the you have to set the frequency.
Okay, so there's no
These are like
auto-tune.
all point-to-point systems. So it's these circuits that is deployed. So if you are having a ROADM-based network, obviously, like we can enable GMPLS config that can auto-tune the wavelengths here. But these are all like just point-to-point deployments having only amplifier. So all these are individually configured, Suraj.
Okay.
So what
Yeah.
is the maximum capacity of trunk port? 600G?
In this platform, it is 250 gig. This 1002 platform, this was released around like 8 years ago, I would say, or 7 years ago. So yeah, 250 gig was the maximum line rate in this.
So two trunk ports, the capacity 500.
500 gig.
And
That's right.
automatically it will be divided into ports, or we have to just cross
No,
connect
it'll be
to.
divided. No, it'll be automatically divided. Yeah.
Acha, we cannot cross connect, like if any one SFP goes faulty, then we cannot make cross connect with another this
Another, no, correct. That is right. Yeah,
trunk port.
that's right.
It is
Yeah,
not
cross
possible, right?
connect. That is true. That is not possible. So if there is one port that is faulty, you will be RMAing the entire device, at least here, because it is all like fixed pizza box. So you don't have an option to do some other cross connect. But consider like in our case, like we are using this only for 10 gig, and all Google circuits usually require only 2 10 gigs. So usually like only 2 10 gigs in the first slice is used. So if at all any slice gets bad, you can move on to the other slice and recover it. I mean, you can continue with it. But yeah, if you are targeting something like a full scale, you will not have an option to switch between ports.
So is it mandatory to the slice is selected A and the same slice has to be selected B and 2?
No, not necessary. They are not symmetrical in that way. So each slice is independent. So as long as the CFP2 and if you are using port number 5 here in the far end, you have to use the corresponding first port. So you cannot go to first CFP2, the last CFP2, because the audio mapping will get scrambled at that point. But you can choose any slice there.
No, but the port has to be the same, right?
Port as I mean, port 5, if you are choosing, the far end can have port 5 or 12 or 19 or 26. Just that it cannot be 6 or 13 or 27 or 20.
Okay. And
Yeah.
regarding the client ports, if I'm using 5 and the client port has 3, so I have to
Yeah.
use the same setup there too, right?
That is right. So if you are using 3 and 5, in the far end, you can use 3 and 5, or you can use 10 and 12, or you can use 24 and 26, or you can use 17 and 19. So like that. So basically, like if you are using fourth port and the first trunk, you have to use the same combination in the far end in any slice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, in this trunk, SFP2 is there, right? So hello.
In the trunk, yeah, CFP2, yes.
So 250 is bandwidth for this, right?
Max, yeah, that is right. In the
So,
circuit deployed, we had configured it to 200 gig. Yeah.
is it OTU?
It's not a complete OTU, so it's a pseudo OTU frame, Shashikant. Yeah.
Okay, but
I mean,
that means
it has like it has GCC functionality. It has like PTI functionality, all the OTN related alarms functionalities. But you will not have the entire OTU functionalities. Like you'll not have TCM. You'll not have like ODU level GCC. So those kind of functionalities are not.
okay, so that means we can't connect this CFP to pure OTU for
That is right.
network, right?
That is right. Yeah, that is right.
Okay.
These are not
Because
OTNs.
this is 250. That means the I means I assume this 2 into OTU4 plus 50, like that, like that.
Yeah, correct. So there is no standard like after OTU4, like after 100 gig, there is no complete standard defined in the OTN for each of the line rates. Like there are some open ROADM standards that are defined recently, like in the past like 3-4 years, right? But at least when this platform was released, the, like OTU4 was the only standard available till 100 gig. So we had to reach 200 and 250. So all the pick mechanisms were proprietary for this particular platform.
Okay, so there is any frame structure, any for this layers?
Yeah, I think yeah, I can share post this meeting probably I can share. I do not have that captured as part of this presentation, so I can add it and send it out to this presentation. Yeah, yeah, okay. Any other questions on 1002? Okay, I'll move on to 1004. Yeah, so 1004 it's similar to 1002, just in this
Just one
in
more
the
query on the 1002. So
yeah.
how is the visibility of this card directly connected to the chassis? It will read it, or some external connectivity is done with the processor card for visibility of
So
the
the
display.
processor card is inbuilt. So if you see here, like in the front panel, you see here these ports, right? So these are the interfaces for for the controller card. So you can connect a console port in the bottom, or the management port in the top, and there is some SFP based management as well in the behind. So these can be used for managing the box. So if it is console, you can directly connect it and then like log into the box and see. Or with management, you can just assign an IP address and manage it.
No, like if I have 1001 and 1002 in the same location, and my
Hmm.
1001 is the
Okay.
GNE node.
Okay.
So
Okay.
how it
Hmm.
will be connected within this both equipments? The
Yeah.
visibility.
So what happens is like as I said, like there are multiple management ports here. So if you are having like one NCS 1001, you can make a bridge in 1001 and connect that management port to here. So you can create a route and then you can start to manage each of this node via one. But all of these devices should have individual IP addresses. So it is not like one particular multi-shelf, like where you have a master shelf and then like all the other shelves are subtending shelves. So it is not like that. So each shelves are independent and have a separate IP address.
Okay, so it's not necessary like to connect it to a switch or router, right? It can be managed via the other NCS box.
It can be managed via another NCS box if needed. That's true. But so what usually happens is the telemetry functionality which I was talking about, usually like Google runs it every 5 seconds or 10 seconds. So the data is pulled every 10 seconds. So the bandwidth when you connect via multiple nodes, it goes down significantly. So the telemetry functionality gets impacted. So usually Google and kind of like Microsoft, what they prefer is to always have individual connection to individual devices, unless like we can provide them as a single self solution.
So in our setup, the network we have built, it is like connected to the switches, or it is
Yeah,
connected to
each
other.
device is connected to individual switch.
Okay.
So there is a management IP for each of the switch.
And which port
Each
is
of the
used on the fan card, controller card, management port?
Yeah, this one, the one I'm pointing now is what is used in 1002.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
okay. Okay. So 1004 again is 2RU 600 rack compliant. It's kind of like a chassis. It is not like a pizza box in 1002. So it has 4 slots. It can take like 4 different line cards. And again, like, yeah, all of them are field replaceable, same like 2+1 fan redundancy and 1+1 power redundancy. So the box can run without the controller card, and there are redundant SSDs. So for any reason, like you corrupt it, like you can bake the image back from the chassis itself. And yeah, again, this also runs on the same software. And like similar to one of your questions, like if you have one 1004, like, and like four 1004s, you can daisy chain the management port from one of, just connect the switch to first chassis and then connect remaining to the remaining NCS 1004 if that is needed. I mean, like if at all, like if there is a site that has hardly like does not have anything, then that is an option that we can do. Just that the monitoring performance will be reduced a little bit. So
Can
this is
you
the
can you
hardware.
explain that again? That one.
No, I mean, like, so uh, when it is a daisy chain, right? So when you connect each individual RJ, management port to the switch, so usually you have like 100 megabits, 100 MB bandwidth. Uh, uh, and when you are daisy chaining, like based on number of devices that you are connecting, so you are reducing the bandwidth that is available for managing the system, like how much data can go, how much fast the data can go in and out of the system. So for that particular reason, the management plane daisy chain, what I said is will impact, usually like if you are pulling some data every 10 seconds, if you are daisy chaining like 10 nodes, you might need to, reduce it, increase the telemetry cadence from 10 seconds to 30 seconds or 60 seconds. So that's the limitation I called out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So means
Uh,
if one breaks, if one LAN cable gets break,
yeah,
then
the further down south can get broken. Obviously, you can create a loop there, like
right, we can create a loop, na?
can create a loop and then proceed in that way, like so that you have a redundancy there. So that
Okay.
support is there. So yeah,
Where's the management port here? In the controller card, right?
yeah. So this one. So if we are able to see it here, this one.
So so in 1004 we can make like shelf 1, shelf 2, shelf 3 also, or it's
I mean,
like
physically, like all of them are individual shelves. So when you are interconnecting the management cable, you still have to assign IP address individually, and then the shelf 2 is routed from shelf 1. So they are all individual shelves, but just that IP address routing is done internally without the need of external switch.
right, right.
Yeah.
But here we cannot is there any way that means like in Sienna what we do if there are three shelf,
Mhm.
so all the this main backplane capacity this configuration of SP card is in main shelf and
Mhm.
also to other shelf, but it shows that it is a shelf when and there are child shelves are there.
Yeah,
One is
understood. So
parent
that's like
and
a multi-shelf
other.
concept, right? Yeah.
So here also we are using or not?
No, we are not using it. So, but I mean, like, generally, like, this product was really built for the pure web customers. So, all the web customers, what they had was their own kind of like a NMS
Right,
system,
right.
right? So, all the configurations, everything. So, their request is like, don't combine any multiple shelves into single shelf and all those, because it is just adding them. Uh, uh, like there is a more possibility of issues, and the sync has to be there between two shelves always, so it
Right,
creates
right.
more complexity. So it is kept always simple, but like, but still to satisfy the service provider segment, where they prefer, like, to have like lesser number of IP addresses as possible. So there is some solution that is coming up by mid of next year, not mid of next year, March of next year, where we ran an application inside each of these shelves, and each of these shelves are monitored via a controller, and that controller can group multiple shelves into a single site location, similar to how it is done in CNI. That's
Okay.
what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay, in this change management means changing these all these shelf should be in same OSPF area for this routing.
So these are all like management ports. So there is no need of OSPF configuration on the management port here because each of them are individually connected, right? So
No, I am
unless like
asking
we are
for this
building a
means
TC,
you told na one shelf is connected to another and this like
correct?
division. So all
Yeah,
this
yeah.
should be in same OSPF area or what?
So in that case, what will happen is yes, like so in that case, like all the management ports will have like a private IP, and then the application that is running will have a external IP address. So internally, these IP addresses are managed by the controller's own protocol, so that is not exposed to external customer. Like you don't need to configure anything. So uh, uh, when the application is running, it will discover whatever is other devices there in its own network, and then it will just expose you know a master shelf to outside world.
Okay, that means a one shelf in another subnet या another area, another shelf in another. So it is doesn't matter because internally it will manage right like that.
That is right.
Okay.
Yeah. So as I said, like you have an application running inside the shelf that will be managing all the IP addresses that are needed within, and there will be like one shelf controller that is outside. So there just you need to discover those individual nodes, and that particular controller can group the nodes into a single site, or it can keep it separate based on how you like. Yeah. Okay. Uh, can I move on to the next slide? I think I did go over this. So it's similar, like you have like two RJ45 ports for management and one console port, and then like you have two USB for USB boots or any passive device management. And I'll move on to the line card. So there are multiple kind of line cards that are supported. I'll not focus on or go over each individual line cards that are supported, but only the ones that are deployed in the current scenario. The line card that is deployed is called as like 1.2T C-band transponder. So it has like 12 QSFP28 ports as the client, and the two line ports are fixed. So you will just have two LC connectors externally showing up in this shelf. Uh, Outside of that, the clients support 100 gig Ethernet or 100 gig OTU4, and the line rates range from 100 gig to 600 gig in the increment of 50 gigs. And almost like you can expect all the features. Like obviously, like we don't have protection feature here as well, but otherwise, like you can expect all the other functionalities that are available, like LDP snooping on the client side, MAC address snooping, encryption, line rate encryption, PRBS on front and try and the same line card can be optimized to use in the subsea as well. And there are some other like niche features like fast SOP tracking. These are used for certain monitoring functionalities to understand what are the impacts that are falling on the fiber. So these are some of the functionalities that are available in this card, but yeah, really are not needed for this particular metro deployment. Um, so the same card comes in both C-band and L-band variants. So there is a different card for C-band and L-band, but all the other functionalities are same between C-band and L-band.
Only the SMP will be different, right? When we so it
Only the frequency configurations will be different. Yeah, that's right. And
so
the
in
line,
12 QS
the wavelength is tunable. Yeah, that is right. The wavelength is tunable. Line side is a fixed. That's right. It is embedded inside
so
the line.
total 14 ports are there or 12 ports?
12 client ports and two line ports. 100 gig client rate and trunk line rate can be 100 to 600. So based on the line rate that is chosen here. So if you're choosing like 100 gig line rate for each line port, that means like you will have like two client ports enabled. So if you're using 200 gig, you will have like four ports enabled here, and the port mappings are fixed here as well. Like you cannot pick and choose the cross connect as you need. And as I said, like you can go in the increments of 50 gigs. So if you're using 150 gig line rate, so there is a rule there, like if you're using 150 gig, you have to use both the lines together. You cannot configure just one line as 150 gig because you don't have a 50 gig client here. And it's all multiples of 100. So you will have like three clients running in 100 and two lines running each at 150. So 150 is just an example. So 200, 250, 300, 350, 550, 600 can go to the 600.
10G also we can use, right?
No,
10G also.
not on this particular line card. This line card doesn't support 10G. It supports only 100 gig Ethernet or OT4.
Okay.
Yeah,
It supports only 100 gig Ethernet or OT4.
yeah, that's right, as a client.
So Guru, I have one query. So there is
Mhm.
two line port. So
Yeah,
suppose if any one line port is goes fault, so
uh-huh.
we need to change complete module.
That's right, that's right. So if you're using both the line ports, if one line port goes down, you
Hmm.
have to change the line card. That's right.
Okay.
No, SFP can
No,
be
no,
changed or no?
line side is fixed SFP version.
Acha,
Yeah,
okay. Line
So
side
we
is
need
a
to
fixed
change
SFP.
complete module.
yeah,
Okay. Line side is a fixed SFP.
Yes.
that's right. Yeah,
In all cards, huh?
Yes. Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, in this card or any card on this platform, that's right. I
Okay.
mean, we have cards which has like CFP2, but yeah, not this cards. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, same as I said for L band as well. So yeah, uh, I can go over the configurations a little bit detail in the future slides, but yeah, this is the overview. So yeah, so moving on to the multiplexer, like the one which we deployed here is the 64 channel Mux Demux. Again, like it's optimized for 63 gigabaud channels, and it has a USB port for passive inventory management, and uh, it was really developed for 400 ZR applications because of the 633 GBD. But again, like this our particular line card uh, can run from 30 gigabaud to 71 gigabaud tunable, and it can be tuned in zero point 0.1 gigabaud range. So you can tune it to work with any multiplexer or any ROADM network that you have. So that's a single line card like that can be used with multiple uh, spacings, frequency spacing, bandwidth. Yeah. And this is another passive module that is part of the solution. This is,
Can you go above? Can you go above that?
yeah, yeah.
So in this, these frequencies are tunable or it's a
No, this is the
fixed?
passive card. This is the passive card fixed at fixed mux demux.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, uh, uh, what is the spacing for this? 100
75
gigahertz,
hertz.
75 gigahertz.
Yeah, that's right. So
Okay.
64 channels, 75 hertz, covering the entire 4.8 terahertz of C-band.
So, this 1004 capacity is 4.8 terabits, right?
Terahertz. I mean,
No.
96 channels if you are using.
No. That whole chassis, 1004 chassis.
Oh yeah, 1004. So you can go like per port 600 gigs. So there are total 8 line ports. So 6 into 8, so 4.8 terabits per second. Yeah,
And
So,
regarding this MD64, you have given that USB port for passive inventory. So
correct.
you connect
So
it to,
NCS 1001.
and it will read the inventory, right?
Yeah, it will read the inventory and display there. Yeah, and also it will show what is the insertion loss for each channel addition, each channels. Yeah.
Okay, so in the NCS boxes like in 1002, 104, we can't follow the trail of the service, right? That that is
That
not
is true.
visible.
So you cannot build an end-to-end service between 1001 and 1002. So 1001 is something like a open line system. So there is no protocol running between 1001 and 1002 to build the trial.
So when we do the provisioning in the EPNM, we can't build a trail, right? Then in this
Yeah,
case.
you cannot build a trial. So again, like a trial as such doesn't make big sense when you are deploying a point-to-point solution because uh, ideally like there is no cross connect or anything that is being created here. So you just have an amplifiers and PSM modules and the mux tmux is always having a fixed configurations, right? So uh, you cannot create a circuit from here to here. Yeah, that is true.
So if we need to trace it, we need to trace it physically, right? Remotely, I can't have a trace like which port is connected to which port on the equipment. Like if my NCS 1002 is connected to the MD64, remotely I
Mhm.
can't check to which port number it is going to.
Yeah,
Right.
that is true. You cannot connect to which port it is going to. I mean, which fiber it is connected. If you have connected it right, obviously you can find it. But if you had connected it wrong, you will not be able to find it. But if you had connected it right, obviously you will see the channel power in NCS 1001, so you can figure it out. Because 1001 has like a channel monitoring functionality. So each channel power can be monitored there. So if it is connected rightly, you will see the channel power there. But if it is connected to some wrong channel, the channel will be blocked out by MD64. So you will understand that somewhere this channel is not connected, but you will not know where it is connected or anything.
So
But
is there any provision at least to manually put in the trace on the ports?
so when you are creating in the EPNM, like you have something called like a logical channel or logical link, or I think like it is called virtual link here. So you can have a like 1004 and 1000 MD64 to which you can correct a virtual link, and 1000 sorry MD64 to NCS 1001 connection can be discovered via that, and 1004 to MD64 can be connected as a virtual link there.
Okay, so what in the port, if I go to the interface of the
Yeah,
line port,
yeah,
is there a provision to put in a manual trace or manual
yeah.
tag
That's
that
right.
it is?
So manually, like you can put a virtual link. I think like it is called as a virtual link that you need to add there. Like, okay, this is connected to this port of 1000, sorry, MD64.
But
And
this is
that
on NMS, right? Not on port.
Not on the EPNM. You have to do it on the EPNM. Yeah,
no,
that
on the
information
port,
is.
mostly in the routers and switches also we get that option to put in the tag, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
that is not there. Like you won't get that tag directly here. One thing you can do is you can add it as a description. So in the description field, you can tell like this is where it is going. But essentially, like there is no other tag that says like where it is, configured that this is the far end of this port or something like that.
okay,
In the description, you can clearly mention probably like going to MD64 port number one, something like that. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So that I just did not I need to understand that USB port. What is the use of USB port? You said.
So this MD64, considering it is a passive, it has to be managed in the NCS 1001 because that's the aggregator for, or that's the OMS handler here, open line system handler. So for the NCS 1001 to know like what passive unit is connected to it, we have the USB. And another functionality is you can retrieve the insertion loss of this particular module, each signal from that via that USB
Where we can connect this inventory port on
on
uh,
the NCS 1001.
Which port? Is there in a control means management port? Where is it?
Oh, to the USB. Let me show you.
From MD.
This is the NCS 1001. So you see here, like there are USB ports here. So you will be connecting to this.
So maximum 4 we can connect, right?
Maximum 4 you can connect. That's right.
So USB to USB automatically they will communicate with each other.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that is real. There is really no communication here. It is just that there is an EEPROM that is present in this one that will be read by the USB directly. So there is no protocol or anything running there. It's
No, no.
just
What
a
is
passive information reading via USB.
is purpose of this to uh, make a presence in EPNM or I did not understand.
I mean, not in the EPNM, but in the NCS 1001, just to know that because it is a passive, so you don't have it managed anywhere. So you don't know what is there in between NCS 1001 and NCS 1004. You will not know what is there. So just for that sake, like you have this managed there.
This is like a Ciena CMD card is connected to access panel like that. This LAN cable is connected to access panel for accessing the CMD port like that. But we can again we can unable to trace this which USB port is connected to which port, right? We need to
You
Means
should be right. I
in
mean, in the show
EPNM
inventory, you will find it
in
right.
in EPNM it will show that inventory in
Oh yeah,
EPNM.
it should show that inventory. Yeah, that's right.
But what it will show like that this is connected to 63 number port or 64 number port something it will show, right?
No, see, the fiber connectivity will not be
No, no,
automatically disclosed
not
to
I'm not
this.
talking about fiber connectivity. If I
Yeah.
see a shelf view of NCS 1004 and this MD64 is connected to the that NCS, then if I open a shelf view of that NCS, so beside somewhere it will show this
Yes.
MD64.
If you show a NCS 1001, if this is connected via USB and that is managed there, it should show up this shelf as one of the uh, uh, in the number of ports that are shown for that number of interfaces that are shown there. This should show up as one of the interface.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
and one of the managed module. Like you will see the ETFA card there, you will see the PSM card there. Similarly, you will see this particular card as part of that inventory. Yeah.
It will be shown under USB, like USB 0, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
ah,
it will be shown as 0, 1, 2, 3. That's right.
okay.
Yeah.
Understood. So means
And
Yeah.
it will show in that shelf view, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. Okay.
So this chassis will be visible in the EPNM you are saying, right? With all the ports, the image of this chassis.
Okay, the image of the chassis is something I don't know if Jatin here, whether he knows, I'm not sure. But I mean, as an inventory and as an interface port numbers, it will be displayed there, I know, but I don't know whether the image as such is displayed there or not. So is Jatin here? Jatin, do you know?
Image I can cross check. I doubt that image will show, but yes, inventory is, I'm pretty sure inventory will come up. But on the image part, I need to cross check it. I'll get back on that for the
Okay.
image specifically.
one more thing.
And regarding this MON port, is there MON port that can be connected to the NCS 1001?
This is the Mon port, right? So I can probably I wanted to tell what this is before later, but yeah, the Mon 1 RX and Mon 2 RX are usually connected to the EDFA. So that is to enable the safety functionality in the EDFA's preamplifier in 1001. So that for that reason, this Mon 1, Mon 2 are used. So the Mon TX is used so that like if at all like you want to check. Um, uh, how is the signal before amplification, you can use this, you can connect this to OSA or any external trace and figure out how it is, and then like you can collect the mon rx in the far end and check like how is the OS not degraded or anything, yeah, for that purpose. But mon 1 and mon 2 rx are usually connected to our edfas for safety functionality.
No, so the MON, they're three PON ports, right? For both the 64 gigabits.
That's right.
So it will be all the three will be connected to the EDFA,
No, only one and two. The Mon 1 and Mon 2 RX, that will be connected to EDFA.
and the TX would be for the
If you
external
want to
return.
use it, yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to use, yeah. I mean, you can take and check the Mon 1 and Mon 2 as well from time to time, but by default, it has to be connected to the EDFAs
Okay.
for
So
the safety code.
channel power monitoring, right?
Yeah, that is right.
So, if by default, means in our network also we connected this Mon1, Mon2 ports.
Yeah, that is right. It is connected.
So in EPNM, I can see the channel, how many channels are flowing and all.
Oh yeah, you can see the channels and should even be able to see like what is the spectral bandwidth.
So
Yeah, that's right.
means because we connected these Mon ports, so
Yeah.
I can see the channel, or means how many
Oh no,
channels are flowing.
the MON ports are not needed to connect check the how many channels are flowing. So even without that, EPN the NCS 1001 has a channel monitoring OCM device inside, so that can show up the in each of the ports like line RX, line TX, COM RX or COM TX. Anywhere you can check what is the individual channels that are there.
Okay, then what is the purpose of connecting this Mon1 and Mon2?
So this Mon 1 and Mon 2, as I said, is to have the preamplifier work in a safety functionality. So for some reason, if there is a fiber cut between your preamplifier and your mux demux, right? So you have to turn off the amplifier. So this Mon 1 and Mon 2 RX, if there is no signal here, that means like the preamplifier will auto shut so that yeah, the preamplifier can power,
Okay.
right?
So
So for
ALS
that
ALS
reason,
functionality
it
you're
is
saying then.
yeah, you can. Yeah. It is like ALS. Yeah, that is right.
But if this patch cord means this mon port is connected to AD amplifier and the issue with this patch cord, so it will be also impact.
So let me check. So you are telling if there is a fiber connectivity issue, so what you will see is an alarm, right? Because your
This
safety is
mon
not
port is
closed.
connected via patch cord, fiber patch cord, right?
Yeah,
Fiber.
that is right. So you
Like
will see
so,
that safety
like
is kicked in, and
he's
then
saying
your
that
amplifier
yeah,
preamps will shut down.
actually he's saying that the COM port is connected to the EDFA, the channels is running through it, and the MON port is connected for monitoring purpose, safety purpose you're saying. So the COM port is intact, no issue in that COM port, but the MON port has got faulty, or the MON
You
patch
will
cord
still
has got
you will
faulty.
still see the problem if the safety is enabled. That's right. If your this particular port is you know dead, you will still see the amplifier going down for safety reasons.
Means in if there is loss in this patch cord also that also impact the channel, right?
Yes, yes, yes,
No,
for sure.
no, it should
No,
not.
yes, it should. It is because this is what is safety functionality, right? So
No,
what safety has to
you
do is
mean to say if mon ports gets means patch cord gets faulty or something else, then the traffic between COM RX to the EDFA will go down, right?
calm RX to the EDFA will not go down. So okay, just give me 1 second. I'll try to see if I have the fiber connectivity diagram. Um, okay, I'll go with this diagram, right? So if I choose this, right? So the MON ports are connected somewhere like this, right? So the MONs are connected like this. Okay. So now this port is what is COMTX, right? A COMTX check. So this is the preamplifier that we are talking about. So now consider like it's like yeah. So if this fiber is cut for any reason, this amplifier will shut down because if this fiber is cut, this particular COM-TX check port, what it says is there is no power received in the mux tmux. That means there is a problem in the fiber, this fiber. There is a problem in this fiber. So in order to protect, I will turn off this particular EDFA. So that's what is this MON port fiber patch card is used in the safety functionality.
Okay, this scenario is totally cut these packers MD to amplifier. But
That
if
is
this
right.
is degrade, if this is degrade, means there is loss in this
No, no, no.
packer.
I mean, degraded, it doesn't matter. Degraded doesn't matter. As long as the COM-TX port receives power, it can be like in the minus 20 dB range. It is fine. It'll work. When it goes below minus 40 is when like this amplifier will shut off.
And that threshold is configurable. I mean, it's not something hard coded. You can configure it to
Yeah.
maybe
That
any
threshold is
value.
configurable. You can configure it to anything you want. Yeah. By default, it is minus 40, but it is configurable to any value.
When you go, that is the mon port or
Okay, one more thing. This in inventories means MD 64 inventory cable is connected to USB port, right? Initially, it is connected on first number, and in future, if it is swapped to means by mistakenly changed to another port, so it will impact for this management means MD
No,
64
just that as we said, like it is an inventory, right? So in the inventory, it will just change into a different port and show it there.
uh,
Uh, as we already told, like there is no like hard coded like circuit that you are creating between this port and that port, right? So it does not really impact if that is changed.
that means there is no such means no any specific assignment over there. You can connect anywhere for this
That is right.
port ports.
Yeah, that is right. That is right. Okay. So this is 1000. I think we this MD64. I can go into 1001 later, but yeah, this is the passive unit. Like since we are using 10 gig with QSFP plus, this module is just used to split that 10 gig into four QSFP plus into 4 cross 10G LC ports. So uh, nothing else here. And yeah, coming on to 1001 again. This is
Can you go into previous slide?
yeah.
Yeah, so this is the passive device. This is inserted in the rack, or it is.
Yeah, it is passive device inserted in the rack. Ideally, this can just be a fiber, breakout fiber. But yeah, in this case, like we had inserted as a module and in the rack, it is
So
racked.
this also inventory can be identified in the 1001, like the
No, this
MD64.
this this is not. See, this is usually just for the 1002's client port, right? See, we do have the inventory for this. We have a separate shelf that can do, but when you are doing like a full scale 10 gig, you can implement that module that has the inventory support and everything. It has an LED support as well on it, and it can be managed all things. But what we deployed in this circuit is just a passive shelf without any inventory or anything because there is only two 10 gig clients that are used. So, um, it doesn't make sense to implement a full-fledged patch panel solution.
oh, how this connectivity for, I mean, how we have connected this?
So the client port of NCS 1002, the QSFP Plus, is connected with this. So this one gets connected to NCS 1002's QSFP port. Okay. And this is where individually each of this is like 110 gig, right? So overall, like you have 410 gigs. So in this circuit, you usually have like 210 gigs created. So this one and this one will be connected to your 10 gig circuits, whichever the router or switch port it is.
So 1004, the output will be the 100 gig Ethernet output. You're saying.
This is, as I said, like this is for 1002.
Okay, so 1002, the client port connected would be a 10 gig one or a 100 gig one.
Yeah, client port is 10 gig. Yeah, that's
So
the only reason we use for 1002.
no, no. this connectivity is coming from the MD64 or the 1004?
No. This is nothing to do with MD64 or anything. This is NCS 1002. So the 10 gig circuits will come here, and then this will go to NCS 1002's QSFP, and NCS 1002's QSFP will go to MD64. Sorry, the CFP2 will go to MD64.
Can you draw the connectivity? I'm not sure I get that.
I'm also not getting it.
So if you see here, like this is the NCS 1001 connectivity, right? So here, let me go and card. So yeah, so here you have this NCS 1002 here, right? Sorry, let me do this. You have this 1002 here and 1004 also here, if that's what it is, right? So these are the channels that are going into MD64, right? Now here what goes is, do I have, yeah, so this is where like you have this 8 cross 10G patch panel. So that gets connected to here. So that gets connects to this QSFP port here. And this particular line port is connected to MD64. The CFP2 port is connected to MD64.
So the 1002 is not directly connected to the MD64, you're saying?
No, it is directly connected to MD64. The line port is directly connected to MD64, right? But this one
Okay.
is the client port.
So client port, what's the bandwidth of this client port? 10 gig.
10 gig, yeah. I mean 4 cross 10 gig.
No. From mux demux, it will connect to which port?
The CFP2, that line CFP2, which is running at 200 gig.
Okay. Then
Like you can consider this 1002 in a two part, like a slice 0 is having some client ports and client port. So the trunk port will be connected to MD64 and the client port will be connected to 8 cross 10G patch panel.
no.
Correct.
What I'm saying, if line side is a 200G, okay,
Yeah.
and client side, there are two client side of 100G, right?
No,
Or
It's 10 gig.
client side in this case is 10 gig, right? As I said, 10 gig. So maximum you can have like 20 10 gigs, but the circuit need is only 2 10 gigs. So only 2 10 gigs would have been connected.
So the output of the 1002 client panel of 8 cross 10.
That is right.
Kind of CVR, we can directly subtend that client port to the device, router device.
And you can, that's what like you can directly connect it if you have a breakout cable, you can directly connect it to the router. So that's preferred. But some customers specifically ask for, they don't want to use the breakout cable, so they want the patch panel provided as part of the solution. So for that purpose, this was added here. Otherwise, like ideally, it has to be a breakout cable.
So in the patch panel, the 10 gig is divided into 4 lanes, you're saying.
I mean, that 40 gig is divided into 4 10 gigs, right? So
No, but
each
our
is a
client output
QSFP.
is like 10 gig, right?
That is right. So what I meant is the QSFP is capable of 4 cross 10G. It is
Mhm.
not like 110 gig, right? So 4 cross 10G. So this patch panel is, converting two 4 cross 10Gs to individual 10 gig lanes, like 8 individual 10 gig lanes.
no, one more question, that if I have a 100G client side, okay, so is there any patch panel of 100G also? It will be divided into 10G?
No, because 100G is a QSFP 28, right? You do not have like N cross 10G or N cross 25G or something like that, right? So when you are using QSFP plus, which is a 40 gig pluggable, you have the option of 4 cross 10G clients per pluggable. So that 4 10G has to be split
So means you
individually.
mean to say that 4 into 10G is a 1 SFP.
Yeah, that's right.
So means it is a 40G SFP and we'll connect to this patch panel and then that patch panel will divide into 4 10Gs, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
In that 4 10Gs, you will use 2 10Gs in this circuit. I mean,
And
uh,
then what would be the insertion loss and how to see the power level of if that patch panel is having some issue? Then means is there any way to check the power level?
in
No, no,
the
right? It is a passive device, right?
not in the yeah, it's a passive. It's just like a breakout cable. If your breakout cable is broken, like you're not seeing anything in the cable, right? So it's similar way, like you have to check in NCS 1002 what is the power received in that optic on that particular lane. And if it is less, that means, if you expect more and it is less, that means either the patch panel is wrong or the fiber between the patch panel and the router is wrong. So
So if only one 10G is having issue, then how will identify? Because that 40G port
uh,
is also always up, right?
no, it will not be up, right? Because it is a passive port. So if one 10 gig is down, that particular 10 gig lane will be down,
Okay,
right?
10 gig will go down.
Because you will, when you
So means you mean
see
to
a
say
show
if
controller laser command, optics command, you will see that that particular laser is receiving minus 40 or whatever it is.
okay means it will show in 40G SFP it will show 4 lanes. So
Yeah,
if
that is right.
fourth lane is showing minus 40, that means fourth port is having issue. Third lane is having minus 40, that means third port is issue, right?
That is right.
Can you go back to the patch panel diagram?
Yeah. This, yeah.
This is the COM1 and COM2 port, right? So from the MD6.
No. Uh, this one, right? There is no MD64 or anything. This is
No.
on the
I'm
client side.
just showing the signal flow. Like from MD64, it will go to trunk port, and from
Okay.
the client 40 gig port, it will come to the COM1 port, COM1 and COM2, right?
Yeah, it will come to this particular MPO port.
Yeah, MPO port, and then we can take out the 10G separate 10 gig from the blue
LC
ports,
ports. Yeah,
LC
that
ports.
is
Yeah, okay, and that's submitted to the router, right?
that is right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for the 4 cross 10G in the 1002, we will be able to see the lane powers, right? All the
Yeah, that is right. Individual lane powers you will be able to see.
okay.
No, my one more doubt. In place of this passive device, we can use directly MPO to 4 cross 10 G, na?
Yeah, that is right. Obviously, you can use that. That is what will make sense more.
One side MPO, one side for four pair of 10
Four
Gs
cross
cable.
four pair of tinges.
Yeah,
That is right. But again, like I'm not sure like what is that LTC demanded at that time.
okay.
Usually uh, globally it is deployed in that way.
Yeah.
But I think this was a specific request coming from some of the design team, some of the customers' design team. So we had to do this.
So in case this patch panel gets faulty, some port get faulty, we can use that fan out cable, right?
Oh
Directly.
yeah, obvious. Yeah, absolutely. You can use it. Yeah.
But how the connectivity will come if we connect the COM1 to the QSFP28? It
I
will
mean,
generate
you don't need to, right? You will just remove this patch panel. You will connect QSFP Plus in 1002 and then like individual LC ports to the router 10 gig interface.
no, didn't understand.
I mean, if you are using a breakout cable, the breakout cable will have a MPO port at one end and it will have like four cross to
10
like
gig port.
four LC pairs in the other end, right? So
Okay.
the four LC pairs will go to the router, which is having the 10 gig service,
Okay.
and the MPO port will connect directly to the QSFP in the NCS 1002 client port.
These 8 ports are client ports, na? Or the COM ports are the client ports?
This
COM port is
all
the
the
common
ports here
port,
are client port,
Azam.
right? All the
ये
ports here
कॉमन
are
पोर्ट
client
है, ये
ports, right?
QSFP जो 400G है, QSFP प्लस
हाँ
40G, उसको कनेक्ट हो जाएगा, राइट?
हाँ, तो अभी
बैक एंड पे।
इसके जगह पे जो अपना एमपीओ केबल है ना, 4x10G का जो एमपीओ
हाँ
केबल आता है,
हाँ,
वो डायरेक्ट कनेक्ट, ये पैच पैनल रिप्लेस इसकी जगह पे वो यूज करेंगे डायरेक्ट
कॉम पोर्ट
अपने।
पे कनेक्ट करने की
हाँ
जरूरत नहीं।
हाँ, ये कॉम पोर्ट रहेगा नहीं, पैच पैनल ही बाईपास हो जाएगा ना।
सिर्फ वो केबल होना चाहिए।
केबल होना चाहिए, या तो
नहीं,
पैच
बिल्कुल
पैनल
नहीं
या तो
समझा।
केबल।
जैसे अपना एओसी टाइप का केबल है ना,
हाँ
जैसे उसमें लाइक एक साइड में आपका कॉमन पोर्ट रहेगा और उसके आगे 4 पोर्ट डिवाइड होंगे, 4 पैच कॉर्ड्स।
हाँ,
तो वो पैच
वो
कॉर्ड
यहाँ
हमारे
पे
इंडिविजुअल
LC,
पोर्ट पे चले जाएंगे।
ये जो ब्लू है, ब्लू पोर्ट्स है, राइट?
नहीं, इसको अगर बाईपास करना है तो वो
लेकिन सर उसके लिए तो फिर भी हमें ओडीएफ लगाना ही होगा ना, वो केबल को डायरेक्ट कस्टमर इन पे नहीं जाता, वो 4-5 मीटर का ही आता है लेंथ में।
हाँ,
हाँ हाँ, वो तो बात सही है।
वही
इसीलिए ये या तो आप
वही मुझे
ओडीएफ
समझ
लगा
में नहीं
लीजिए,
आया।
या तो यू कैन वी कैन यूज द ओडीएफ
नहीं
और
नहीं
वी
नहीं,
कैन यूज।
अगर हाँ, अगर वो केबल है तो बीच में कपलर डाल के आप इधर ही कपल कर सकते हैं ना,
यस सर, यस सर।
क्योंकि
वो ये भी,
राउटर की तरफ से ये यहाँ तक आपका पैच कोड आ रहा है, और यहाँ
यस सर,
अगर वो केबल लगेगा तो बीच में कपलर डाल के आपका आप आ जाएगा ना।
यस सर, यस सर, यस
ये भी
करेक्ट।
लगेगा तो सेम रैक में लगेगा ना, तो उतना डिस्टेंस है तो वैसे ही आपको ओडीएफ के थ्रू ही जाना पड़ेगा, डिस्टेंस ज्यादा रहेगा तो।
यस सर, यस सर। तो ये भी एज ए ओडीएफ ही आप इसको कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि ये तो इंटरनली पैच कोड से ही बैकएंड पे डिवाइडेड है फोर
यस यस,
फोर
करेक्ट।
तो ये
10G।
कॉम पोर्ट एंड दिस क्लाइंट 10G client ports, these are connected in backplane, right? If we are using 40 gig connectivity.
1002 40 gig client port will be extended to this COM port,
Okay.
and from the COM port, individual 10Gs can be retrieved from these LC ports.
यस सर, यस सर।
So it means these LC ports and COM ports are connected in the backplane.
This is the
Yeah.
patch panel. In the backside, it will be connected
Okay.
that way,
Understood.
similar to a MPO cable.
Yeah, understood.
This only used for 40G, right? No, this only
Yeah,
can be
if
used
we
for
need
40G.
to, yes, I think.
Yeah, 10G. Yeah,
No,
Yes,
always the
200.
COM port would be 40G, right, Guru?
that is right. It has 4 lanes, so I mean, it is capable of 40 gig. Yeah, 4 individual 10 gigs, but
Okay.
yeah, I mean, if you are using a pure 40 gig Ethernet, you will not use this patch panel because it will again go in a single fiber, right? That's what I meant. Yeah.
Okay, right.
Okay. Shall I move on to
So in
1001?
our network, have we used this?
Yeah, yeah, we have used this.
Okay.
Yeah,
So means we have a 40G output and it is connected to this COM port,
that is
right?
right. That is right.
Okay. On the same card which you shown it
So
into.
since we are using only 10 gigs here, so only 140 gig client is extracted from the 1002 you're saying, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, we are using two separate 40 gigs for redundancy.
No, we are not at all using. So this particular patch panel comes with a minimum of two 40 gig ports. So we are using one port and the other port will be left empty. Yeah.
Okay.
And again, this is standard slice, means this slice, right? 1, 2, 3, 4.
I mean, this is a passive and it is not monitored. So it's like a cable. So the numbering does not matter here. So there is no numbering.
So they
No,
will
no,
have a
but
part code,
like,
right? They will have a part code because since it's the identified card, it will be having a part code, right? So if you want to, if it gets faulty, we can RMA this, right?
The top one, yes, it can get, if at all, like if it is broken or anything, you can RMA that. That is true.
So it will have a serial number and a part code, right? With that.
Yeah, that will have, yeah, it will have that. Yeah.
So
No,
how will we can read it only physically, right? It will not be like subnet to the 1001.
No, 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 it will not be. Yeah, because this is not managed or anything. It is just for fiber splitting. So
But I can see a USB port, a inventory port here, the right side.
yeah, I mean, you can do that if you want, you can manage that, but it's something like we haven't supported as a solution. So,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
No, what I'm asking, see, this is 40G and there are 410G. So next side, far end also same scenario, right?
Yes, that's
So
right.
far end one client is connected on a first number port. So here should be on first number, right? Like that I'm
Yeah.
asking.
Yeah, I mean it is similar to your breakout cable, right? So the breakout cables are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you are connecting one, you have to connect the same in the far end. So it is similar to that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Any more questions or can I move on to 1001?
Yeah, you can move on, please.
Okay. So yeah, NCS 1001 is the data center interconnect optimized line system. So it's designed as part of like open line system for point-to-point solutions. Yeah, again, doesn't support any ROADM kind of topology, NCS 1001. So it supports like protected and unprotected topologies with PSM module, optical PSM module. So as I said before, like it has separate line cards to support OTDR, or also like channel monitoring is embedded within each of the amplifiers in each port, and there is a separate line card for OTDR. Currently, that is not part of this particular solution. Uh, Going on to the details, yeah, it has like three small slots. For an protected system, it can take like two 8 FAS and one PSM in a single chassis. So in the right side is where like the CPU card is there, and you have like similar like four USB ports for passive management or the USB boot functionalities, and then like you have two RJ45 for management functionality and one console port. In addition to that, you have like two UDC ports here. So the UDC ports are basically um, um, for user data channel, what is called as user data channel. So uh, uh, the traffic that is entering this UDC are directly added to the OSC interface and transferred to the far end. And then like you can connect the same UDC, take the UDC outside of the far end, and you can connect to a switch so that like you, it's like the near end network is available in the far end. So if at all like you have a remote location where you want some 100 Mbps bandwidth, you can use this particular UDC ports to uh, take that network there. Uh,
So can I like if I locally log into the 1001, I can
mhm.
log in the far end 1001 too through this UDC ports?
So the far end 1001, usually you will log in via OSC port. So the UDC traffic is never terminated within 1001 because this is like a user channel. So if at all like you have like two sites, so that the site one traffic is transferred to the site two traffic that cannot be terminated inside the NCS 1001. So the near end and far end 1001 can be managed via OSC itself. You don't need UDC for that. But consider like you have a scenario where in the near end like you have like your sufficient bandwidth, but in the far end you don't have any switch or anything like, I mean, you don't have management connectivity to the devices there. So what you can do at the time is you can take some traffic in this UDC port, and in the far end you can connect it to your hub, and then like you can connect it to multiple NCS 1000 uh, fours or 1002s that are present there.
Okay.
Or like, or you can put a switch there. So this UDC port will act as a uplink, and all your DCN network will be available there after that. And then you can plug in the 1002s and 1001s there. So all of them will be in the same subnet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when it's, at one location to another location, we can use this bandwidth.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, so if you are using like protected scenarios, that mean you have two 8 FAS, so 200 Mbps. Like OSC is run at 100 Mbps here, so you can with two OSCs you can have almost like 200 Mbps of traffic available, or bandwidth available at the far end.
Okay. So means this bandwidth is using of USC OSC
Yeah,
na?
that is right. Yeah, that is right. OSC.
Okay.
Yeah,
So total bandwidth of OSC is
100 Mbps. 100
100
Mbps.
Mbps.
Yeah.
So some bandwidth will be divided in these two ports or
No, no, because there will be two OSC links, right? When you're using protected
right, right,
scenarios,
pass
you
through
have two EDFAs, right? So two EDFAs, right? One is working and protect. So each path will have like
100 MB.
100 Mbps. So, I mean, if you want to have a redundancy, you can just have redundancy in the UDC ports as 100 Mbps traffic. But yeah, it's up to you. It depends on the risk appetite, right? So, if you want them to use individually, you can use it, or if you want to consider it as a together, you can create a lag and then like, assign only 100 M of bandwidth.
Uh, what about this 3 into RJ45 for 1 gig this channel?
Oh, okay. The 3 into RJ45 port. So this is the management port. So when I said like, you can inter, so one port consider like you are using for managing this NCS 1001. The remaining two can be used for, doing a daisy chain of connecting another NCS 1002 or 1004 in the same uh,
Okay,
site.
these are other than this means this UDC port na 123, right?
Yeah, UDC ports are outside of this. That is right.
That these are three ports for management for
No,
this.
the UDC port is for
No,
carrying the
this
traffic to the
this
parent, right?
RJ45 1G this
Yeah,
for management.
RJ45 is outside of that UDC.
Okay,
RJ45 is the direct management port.
okay.
Yeah,
So this RJ45, anyone we can use, right?
yeah, you can use anyone. I
So
mean, not the UDC ones. The RJ45s you can. I think like you have like uh okay, one is console. So this one is console. You cannot use it for management. And this is what is used for management, or this SFP port is there, you can use this for management. So you have like two management ports and one console port out of this three RJ45s.
two management ports. Okay. So
Yeah,
one
see,
will
if you
be
see this,
like
this yellow colors, right? These two yellow colors lines are management ports, and this orange color line is console port.
yeah, understood. So
Yeah,
means one will go to router and other one we can use as a cascade, right? For DC chain.
yeah, that is right. Yeah,
Only two ports are there.
only two ports are there. That is right.
No, but here one more port is showing here, third port.
Where?
Acha, okay, okay, okay. One
That
is
is console.
optical port.
Yeah,
That
one is optical SFP. Yeah.
and two are RJ45. Three are RJ45. Okay. One
No,
is
no,
for
no.
console.
1 second. I'll tell you clearly, right? So you can see that, right? So this, sorry, um, pen. This one, and this one. These are all UDC ports. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Now, pen color. Magenta. This one and this one is management port. One is RJ45, one is SFP based.
One is SFP based. Okay.
Yeah. So this
Okay.
one is console.
So SFP is a fixed SFP or
No, it is a slot, so you can insert any SFP there. So you can insert a copper SFP or you can insert a fiber SFP, whichever you want. Yeah.
Okay, you said two OSC are there, so how you can use three UDC port?
Okay. So see, usually the topology deployed is like one PSM, and then like two EDFAs, right? So that's how, in general, the deployments are. So when you are using that deployment, only UDC, two UDC ports will be used. One from for via this 8FAS OSC, another in this 8FAS OSC. But some people may just use this to deploy amplifiers, right? So this slot can also be an amplifier at that time. So in that case, like each of this can carry an individual OSC. I mean, if you don't
Okay,
consider,
that means third direction. If there is third direction, that time you can, right?
I mean, it is if it is just amplifier without using PSM modules, right? So you'll have three amplifiers. So that means you will need three UDC ports. So
Okay.
yeah. But yeah, in our topology, the middle UDC will not be used, is basically. So because it is a PSM module. Yeah. Can I move on to the next slide? Okay. So this is the details of the amplifier module. So as you see, like you have a true variable gain preamp here, and you have a similar booster amplifier here. And this is the COM RX, COM TX, and this is line RX and line TX. So you have like PD monitoring in every place, and you have like this OCM. If you see OCM, this is what I said, like there is OCM monitoring at each of the ports. So that means like you have per channel view, not just the photodiode power, right? You at every port, you can view the per channel power level. And yeah, so it's a switchable gain range. The preamp has switchable gain range. One is the normal gain from 0 to 24 dB, or it can operate in extended gain range, which is 20 to 34 dB gain. And there is a OSC port here. Like if you see here, this is like a OSC port. So you can plug in any type of OSC pluggable here, and it should work. So you're not restricted based on the wavelength. So if you want to use 1550 for wavelength, sorry, OSC or 1310 or 1610, so you can use any of those combinations. And yeah, the maximum out power of the amplifiers are 23 dBm. And as you can see, this OSC will get added here, and there is COM RX port, sorry, four ports are COM RX, COM TX, line RX, and line TX. And there is one port where OSC gets added, and there is one port which is called COMTX check. This is what will be connected to the MON port of the MD64 for safety reasons, which we talked about before.
So what is that which you just round that? What is that port?
This is the where like the OSC, as I said, like the OSC is a pluggable, right? So it will have the TX and RX, right? That will get connected here.
Acha, this. Okay. So these are amplifier port. In
Yeah,
amplifier, there is a OSC in and OSC out port.
yeah,
So
that's right.
there's a
Yes,
separate SFP for OSC, right?
that's right. Yeah, that's a separate SFP. That's right. Or
And
yeah,
the MON
this
port
is.
and the MON port will be connected where?
The MON port will be connected to this particular port, which is called as COMTX check port.
So there are two MON ports, right, on the MD64.
Yeah, one will come to this one EDFA, and another will go to the other EDFA. You have,
Okay.
yeah.
And what is the XFP port? The left side one?
I mean, in olden days, if somebody wants to use XFP for OSC, they can use that. Yeah. Everybody uses SFP for OSC now, but when this platform was introduced, like some people are still using XFP based OSC. So
And regarding the line ports, the RXPX,
Mhm.
the line ports. Uh,
Yeah, this is line RX, this is line TX.
no,
Yeah.
but is there any like port numbers here? Because how will you identify the port numbers?
Oh yeah. So I think I'll paste that. I don't know if I have not pasted here. I'll paste that here. So yeah, I'll paste that info here. So there is port number 0 and 1. So this port is port number 1. Line ports are port number 1, and COM port is port number 0. Yeah.
So in the
I,
image you're showing, which is 0 and which is 1? So
Yeah.
it will be going to the FMS and which will be going to the MD64.
So this is the line port which is going to the your fiber, and this is the one that goes to MD64.
Okay, the C which is shown as C will be going to the MD64 and L will be going to the
Yeah,
FMS.
that's right. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Any
So
queries?
common TX and common RX are the port of amplifier, no?
Yeah, that's the input port that comes from MD64.
Acha, that is the port of no. What is the port name of amplifier?
I mean, both, right? Both line and com are amplifier ports, right? So I'm not sure like what you meant here.
No, Ashwin bhai, this is C. The C RX will be going to the MD64. That is the internal connectivity, and L is the line connectivity, which is going to the FMS.
Yeah,
No,
that is right.
If you zoom in,
can you just zoom in?
Okay. Just one sec.
C and L.
This can zoom in. This is the max I can zoom in. So I think like this is what you mean, right? This two are the line ports that goes to your fibers, and these two are the client ports that goes to, or if I
Yeah,
am not,
got it.
yeah, I mean these two goes to fiber management, and these two goes to MD64, whatever. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, it's fine. Is that okay? Understood?
yeah, RX.
Yeah.
L is the line
Line
input.
line port, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like line input. It has both TX and RX, so it is line port interface. Yeah.
Basically, you can refer C as COM port, which is a composite for all the channels. And when OSC is added, this is called line port. That is general analogy in Cisco. C is for channel, COM ports. Then we add OSC, it's line port.
So how's the port nomenclature here? 0, 1, 2, 3. In that way, the line RX will be 0,
It should be
TX
one.
will be 1.
It's one. 0 and 1 both.
So
And
0 and
OSC
1
is
will
one.
be the line RX and TX.
No, 1 will be line RX and TX. 0 will be COM RX and COM TX.
Okay. You have separate nomenclature diagram for that, right?
I
Oh,
think
yeah,
Cisco,
I will get that. I think is my screen shared? I
Yes,
think this
please
is
visible.
part of the Cisco. It's part of the Cisco, so you can get this picture as part of that. I'll add it in the PPT itself. Uh, Clarification. Uh, Duplicate slide. Can just put this here. Yeah. Does this help? This helps, right? Is that okay?
So 0, 1 as.
Is this okay?
Yeah. So if I want to shut the TX port,
Yeah.
I
If
want
you
to
want
shut
to shut the TX of which port, like for
the
CF or
the line,
the line TX. So that means you have to
booster
shut
output.
here. Yeah.
Guru, I
So
just
it
shared
is
an
here,
image with
right?
you. Sorry to interrupt.
So
I just
so
shared an
if I shut this port 1, it will shut the
Yeah.
port TX and RX both, right?
I think Jatin is
It is.
showing something else. Jatin, you are sharing something?
No, it's almost similar what Guru is presenting, just an maybe little good as a user-friendly thing. Almost the same thing what Guru is presenting. I just realized that he pulled up this slide. So it's a similar one, what I was trying to say.
Yeah, so again, it's right. If you are shutting down 0, 0, 0, 1, that means you will shut the booster TX. So the RX is not implicitly shut, but since the ALS functionality is enabled, so RX will shut him. It can be considered as shut. Yeah.
Okay.
But again, like this is an amplifier, this is an RX port, right? So it's not like you are shutting anything there. It is just monitoring that, receiving that port. So what
So
will be
the
shut is the COM-TX, yeah.
power when where we'll see the power in line RX, na?
Yeah, that I mean
And the
the fiber
output power will be shown in line TX, right?
output power will be shown in line TX, that is right. I mean it is like the same port, you will see both TX and RX power there. So
Okay.
yeah. Okay, or I can
So I had
simply
a query.
just
Guru. If I shut this comp check port,
if you shut this COM check port, okay.
will it shut down the laser too?
There is no laser on COM check, so
No,
COM check
no,
is
the
just
line,
an
the
IC.
the com side laser.
So if you are shutting this COM check, it will not shut anything. It is an no op kind of. It is just like any alarm on that COM check will be removed, right? So if you want to shut the uh, you know preamplifier output, you have to shut like COM TX, which is
No,
like
no. As you said, from the CMD, from the MD64, the monitoring port it will come to the com check port, right?
correct.
So if I shut this com check port, this is reading the power from the MD64. If
So
I
the COM
shut it,
check is no, the COM check is an RX port. So if you shut it, it does not necessarily block anything. So it is just that, an alarm raised on the COM check will not be monitored, but internally that light will still be available on COM check, so it will still be working fine.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Because a shut does not make a difference in the RX port, right? Because you don't have any active circuitry there to remove the input that is coming in there.
Mostly ComCheck is used for what? ComCheck is
Safety.
monitor.
Yeah. Yeah. Can I jump on to the PSM module?
Yeah, actually, it's 15 minutes now.
Yeah.
Well, left.
Yeah. So let me go on to this
Guru,
PSM. Yeah.
Guru Anil here. Uh,
Yeah.
can you elaborate on is there any functionality in ADFA that monitors the line side fiber?
Okay. In the sense like so yeah,
Like
it is same, right?
like OTDR functionality or RFMS, just like RFMS.
There is no
Yeah.
OTDR functionality on this card, yeah, on this particular REDFA directly. So we have a separate OTDR module. In this particular line system, we have a separate module so that you can use for OTDR if needed. But at least in the circuit that is deployed, there is no OTDR related functionality. What is available is the power monitoring and the channel monitoring. So individually, if there is any channel gone wrong, you can have an alarm there. Or if there is any overall port down, you will have an alarm there. So
Okay. No, I think
Basically, Anil, there is no OTDR functionality. You have to manually fire the OTDR in case of fiber cut. That's
yeah,
okay.
what it says.
that's right. Yeah.
So here the VOA port is there, VOA.
Yeah.
So this can be adjust manually or it adjusts
Yeah.
what?
This can be adjusted manually. So sometimes like having a higher OAC TX power will cause a problem to the signal. So you can adjust this VOA to reduce that power.
But it won't work in a gain clamp or power clamp mode, right? It is manually
VOA,
adjusted.
this VOA is outside of those amplifier functionalities.
So,
This
so
has
you,
to be controlled. Yeah.
there's no provision to like set an output power, and the gain will vary accordingly to achieve that output power.
Oh yeah, you can do that. You can do that. So if the amplifier can operate in two different modes, right? Which is like either you can configure the gain and whatever power is received, it will just put that gain, or you can configure the target output power, which is called as an automatic mode, and whichever is the power received, it will try to change the gain to achieve that particular target output power.
So in this solution we have, which is the mode used here, gain mode or power mode?
Okay, Lavanya, I think it is automatic mode. Lavanya, can you correct me? I think it is. Yeah, it is automatic mode. Yeah, yeah. So it is automatic mode, so you don't need to configure any gain. So it will try to reach a configured or a default per channel power, and it will work
Because
set the gain
normally
accordingly.
for this DCI solution, it is always used as manual because
Yeah,
there's a PSM included, right? So if
yeah,
the gain, the amplifier starts to adjust automatically, the
yeah.
power level that the PSM module will vary accordingly.
It is true. That again, I totally agree. So it is very dependent on the circuit. So if the circuit is going to be too much fluctuating and the span loss is going to be too fluctuating, you can configure manual mode and set the gain automatically by you. So I mean, it is open, so both are available. So we can do however way we want, but just that if at all there is a change in span continuously, just need to make sure that you are recalculating the gain and redoing the configuration every time there is a span change if you are using the manual mode. So uh, uh, it is very much left to the operator to decide if they want to change it. Automatic is good because at least the minor variations it will automatically take care. But again, like if you think like there is going to be like a too huge of a variation and you want to use manual mode, we can jump or switch to the manual mode as well.
So as per the feedback you are giving, we have automatic mode selected in our solution, right?
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Is it confirmed? Because I need to check it with my assistant too. Because this
It is
will
it is
in the
confirmed. Yeah, it is confirmed. What is done now is confirmed. So if you
okay.
want to change it, yeah, we can change it. But what is deployed? Because I think like the person who spoke now is the guy who did the configuration. So it is confirmed.
Yeah,
Okay.
Vikas Verma, he gave the feedback.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
This
So, but we like
OCM, OC,
we are open, right? We are open, right? So it really depends on the operator. So Google, for instance, like Google uses manual mode in their network, but the other Indian ISPs where Google has asked us to deploy, they use automatic mode. So some people use automatic, some people use manual. So it is really based on what customer wants. We can do anything.
Okay.
this OCM1 and PD2 are inbuilt means what it is
Yeah, yeah, all of them, all these blocks are inbuilt, so none of
on
them
our
are outside. Yeah,
okay. We just taking the OSCN input power and it is muxing by using OCM inbuilt and then it is giving output, right? No? And what is the PD2 here showing?
P is the photodiode. PD is the photodiode.
Okay, 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 okay.
So OCM is for individual channel level monitoring, right? So I mean, like you can OCM is use something like a OSA. So you don't need to connect an external spectrum analyzer to see how is the spectrum looking. The OCM will very well give that. If the PD is like a photodiode, it will just monitor what is the power available there.
Okay,
Yeah.
So
photodiode.
this
And
OCM can be accessed only via the APNM or in the CLI.
CLI, yeah, it's accessible in the CLI, so the data can be is exported via telemetry as well. So you can, if you have a tool there, you can really build real-time spectrum monitoring that happens it gets updated every 30 seconds, so or every 10 seconds it gets updated. So you can build it yourself if you want, or in the CLI you can view it. You will not view the graph kind of view, but you will view the individual power for each slice. So
Okay.
yeah, each 6.25 gigahertz, you will see the power value.
So these are all inbuilt. We don't need to connect anything, right?
Nothing, yeah,
It will
nothing,
it will
nothing.
show
So
automatically.
yeah, it will show automatically. That's true.
Okay.
Yeah. Can I move on to the PSM?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so PSM, yeah, for bidirectional PSM, so you have like one cross two switch in one direction and a 50-50 splitter in the other direction. And again, like you have photodiodes and monitoring each and every port except the COM RX. And uh, yeah, pretty much, yeah, it can operate in unidirectional or bidirectional switching. So there is a VoA on the transmit side. We don't use it here currently, but if there is any case, where you have a huge difference between the spans and you want to optimize the power value that is entering the booster, you can use this VoA configs to alter that power that is getting in the input of booster. Yeah, so any queries here? It's standard PSM module, so okay. This the use cases like the point-to-point unprotected where you don't need PSM, or this is the protected where you have like two 8 FAS and one PSM per node, um, and you have this point-to-point with multiple spans where you have ILA. So all these configurations are supported with this platform. Yeah, so this pretty much about the NCS 1001. So yeah, this overall product overview, I think like we covered some of the circuit related queries as well. And I already covered this particular slide, I believe. So please let know if you have any other questions as well on this. Otherwise, like after this, like I have like bunch of slides that talks about how the configuration is there, like what is each config does and stuff. So I think like our time for the meeting is getting over, but if you want to set up a separate meeting to go over that, I think I can do that. Or Lavanya is the team like who done this configs, they can do as well. But yeah, do let me know your preference. We can plan accordingly. But in the remaining 5 minutes, if you think like we need to cover certain things, we can cover.
So actually, the basic important part is still pending regarding the commands and the parameter check in the NCS.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if it's comfortable with you to continue, it's okay with us. But if you want to like schedule another meeting for this, that is also okay with us, because I
No.
believe that.
Let's continue that. Just give me 1 minute. I'll just bring my charger.
Let's have a water also at least. I hope this has been a good session till now.
Yeah, it has a brilliant session till now. So
Now you're comfortable to managing this.
no,
That's all.
now we have got the overview. Actually, the daily operations are more important now, Ramesh. So the what's coming next is much more important than what happened. So
Right, right. Practical.
Yeah. So let me start in that case. So this slide, like,
I had one query, Guru. So
Mhm.
so in the NCS 1001, we have like the first slot for amplifier, second slot for the switch, PSM switch, and
Yeah.
third slot for third amplifier. So is it
Yeah.
possible if we put the first two amplifier in the first two slots and the third slot we put as a PSM?
Uh, so what is there is like there is a backplane connectivity to ensure there is again like between PSM modules and ITFA like we have certain backplane check for safety. So for that reason, like the slot zero is sorry, the first slot is ITFA, second slot is PSM, and the third slot is EDFA. So it is fixed for this particular use case. Yeah.
Okay. So will it raise any alarm if I put it in the wrong slot?
If you put it in, yeah, you will have to configure modules individually. So, as such, when you're configuring modules, it will work, but certain safety functionalities will not work if you put it that way. But otherwise, like your traffic will come up if you configure it rightly. That
So
shouldn't be a
so
problem.
do we need to configure it or it will auto discover the card?
Nothing, no auto discovery. You have to configure the cards and channels. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, you have to. Yeah.
But PSM we can put any slot right now in 1001.
That's what I said. Like you can put it in any slot, but there are some safety functionalities that will work only if you put it in the corresponding slot. So if all you care about is traffic and you don't worry about safety, it is fine. You can put in any slots. But if uh, if you want to complete with the standards of safety in all the amplifier points, we need to follow this.
No, means in at any point if that PSM module gets faulty
Mm-hmm.
or slot gets faulty.
Yeah,
In 1001, how many slots? We have two slots or
just
three
three
slots.
slot,
No?
three slots. Yeah,
So there is no space.
yeah.
Can you show us the faceplate of the PSM again? I mean, I just need to see the port detail. Which port
This one, right?
goes where?
This one. Do you want a bigger view? This
Yeah,
one? You
yeah, bigger view, yeah.
Yeah, this
I
one.
had a slide. Yeah, so can you just zoom in?
Let me check whether there is any zoom. Okay, there is no zoom here. So this is okay. It's simple, right?
Okay,
This is the
I can see
COM
it.
port
So
and this
so
is the
so
work
P
connector, right?
so work and protection is W and P and TXR. It's
Yeah,
okay. And the
yeah,
COM port will go to the MD64.
yeah.
No,
That's
but
right.
what are the port names like WTX RX?
Sorry. COM port is 0. Work and protect are 1 and 2. Is that clear? Like, hello. Uh,
Yes,
am I audible?
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Is there any question on that, or I couldn't grab it?
No, it's okay. It's clear
No,
now.
no,
Okay.
it's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay. Yeah. So again, like I think like we talked about this. So you have this 1002 and 1004 channel coming into MD64, and that going into the COM port of PSM here, and the work going to the work FA and protect going to protected FA. So all of this in one 1001 chassis, and this is the far end again, like again same way like you will demux it. So uh, this is kind of the solution. So uh, again, I just wanted to capture this like uh, uh, each of this command or everything like is part of the Cisco public documentation. So I have attached the links here. So this is how the document will look like. So each of these are hyperlinks. So it usually like all the workflows that are needed for any troubleshooting or configurations are covered in this. So you can click on this any of this link when you go there and check post this meeting as well, like if something is you need to revisit.
Yeah, and a
uh,
query, is
yeah.
encryption enabled for our solution?
No, it's not. No, it's not enabled. Yeah. So yeah, I'll move on to the next slide. So this is the 1004. Again, it talks about like this ones are talking about like the two different kinds of operations per line card we have. So there are two modes of configurations. One is called as mux ponder and mux ponder slice. So what is mux ponder is like both the line ports are configured together. So that means when you set mux ponder mode as 500 gig, the line ports in the 1004, both of them are set as 500 gig, and corresponding like 10 client ports will be enabled at that point of time. And this mode allows you to go in the 50 gig increments as well. So there is another mode of operation where if you want to use just one particular line port and that corresponding client ports, you can use this mux ponder slice. So in this case, like each line card will be two slices. So slice zero or slice one, I think slice zero will be for the first trunk and slice one will be for the second trunk. And if you are using this particular slice mode, you will not be able to use the 50 gig increments. You can only do like 100, 200, 300. So 150, 250 cannot be done because if you configure just one slice with 50 gig increments, that means you don't have corresponding 100 gig clients. So for that reason, that is not allowed. Uh, but yeah, Muxponder modes allows you to go with 50 gig increments. And as called out before, the baud rate are entirely configurable for each rate. So based on what is your line system capacity, like here in this solution, like we are using like a fixed at 64 channel, 75 gigahertz spacing. So, all the baud rates that are configured are uh, 64 63 gigabaud or 64 gigabaud uh, to fit in that. But yeah, if you are using a ROADM based network for the same transponder, you can just tune into any frequency or sorry, any baud rate that you want and achieve more spectral efficiency for this. So this table captures the range of the baud rate each line rate allows. So if you are choosing like a 400 gig, the baud rates are from 42 to 71. So, uh, you know, yeah, as you go lower rates, like you have a wide range of the baud rates. And this is
Can you
where
go to
like
the previous slide, Guru, please?
yeah,
The trunk parameter ranges from FEC SD15 to SD27.
yeah,
27.
yeah. So there are two types of FIC that are supported. So one is SD15 and SD27. So that's what it captures.
No, you are
So what
saying
is the
this.
one set in our solution?
It should be SD15.
No, no, you are talking about this fake of towards client port, right?
No, towards line port.
Line port. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. These are proprietary fix. Yeah, SD
Ah, right,
fix. Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah,
These are all Cisco proprietary, right?
yeah. That's right.
So what is the difference that 15 and 27 means?
Just that what ST27 means is 27 percentage of the payload is used for FIC information, so it gives more coding gain, basically better performance if you use ST27.
Okay.
But again, that means like if you are able to achieve like 1,000 kilometers in SD15, like I mean, sorry, if you are able to achieve like 4.8 Tbps in SD15, you will be able to achieve only significantly like lesser in SD27, right? So
Mm-hmm.
because it is
Okay.
a bigger frame structure, yeah,
So in our network, HD15 we have used, no?
that's right. SD15 with 63 gigabaud is what you use. Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so this is the method one of, if you want to configure via Muxponder mode. So this is the command that we usually use. So how it goes is like first you configure the line card and then like you go and configure the optical port individually. So this command is for configuring the line card, like, you just tell like hardware module location and the line card slot. If it is like slot zero, like 0/0, and then like mux ponder mode, and then like client rate as 100 gig ethernet or OT4, trunk rate like from 100 to 150 to 200, whatever, like all this different ranges. So as soon as you provision, like you can do like show hardware module command that will tell like which port is mapped to which trunk and stuff, so which line port stuff. So that will be there. So this is the other method, like where you can configure like slice, individual slice. So here it is similar command, like where instead of just mux ponder, you'll do mux ponder slice and zero, slice zero, and then like client rate and trunk rate. Similarly, like slice one, client rate, trunk rate.
No, this
So in this,
slice 0/1 means
yeah,
one is
each
the client port.
first trunk, no, zero is one client for first trunk and one is for the second trunk port.
Zero is the first trunk and one is the second trunk.
Trunk, yeah.
Okay. So 0.
This
So
command is basically for the 1004, right?
Yeah, this for 1004. Yeah.
so here we are configuring line side, right?
We are configuring client side and the line side rates. Yeah, overall.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you configure 600G, then what would be the next output for client, right?
Client rate is always 100 gig Ethernet or OTU4, right? So you
Mhm.
just need to choose either OTU4 or Ethernet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I
it
mean,
will
you'll not.
show automatically.
What will show automatically? The ports?
Client rate. It will not show any port like port 1, port 2, port 3. Or
No, it will not allow you to choose because I said, right, like the port numbers are chosen automatically based on the line rate. So
no,
if
no.
you're
If
using,
we
yeah.
if two ports we want to use as a 100 gig and two ports we want to use a OTU4, is it possible?
Yeah. Okay, no. You cannot. Oh, just give me one sec. Uh, I think I need to cross check that. I know we did the feature implementation of how, doing mixed ports, but I'm not really sure now. But I need to check that. But
So
usually
if we
nobody
want
uses
to
that.
do mixed configuration, then we have to configure trunk port as a mixed configuration or
No, ideally, like it does not matter. So, if you, as long as like trunk rate is common, irrespective of what is client rate. So, as far as I know, I think like you cannot mix both the OT4 and Ethernet in a single slice. I mean, for a single trunk port, you cannot have like one port as OTU and one port as Ethernet. But for us, each trunk you can configure separately. Like trunk zero, basically like slice zero can be like OTU4 and slice one can be Ethernet. But within
how
us,
can you show here in your
I mean, just same, right? Like Mux Ponder slice zero, client rate 100 gig Ethernet and trunk rate 200. And Mux Ponder slice one, client rate OTU4, trunk rate 200 gig.
okay. Mhm.
Yeah.
So this is the common whole command. First we have to type mux pointer slice, then 0,
Yeah.
then enter
Yeah,
or
so whenever
continuous.
this
Continuous.
whenever this R symbol is mentioned, that means you have to enter either of these values.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So here, like that's why like same for trunk rate, right? You won't enter all the trunk rates. You will enter any of this rate. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So this command is in one line. Mux pointer slice 0,
You
then
can
client
enter
rate
it in
100G.
one line or you can enter it in multiple lines. So the structure is this. So after Mux Ponder slice, you have to press enter. Like client rate and trunk rate are sub mode of that. So
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Can you
okay.
move on to the next
And
one?
this commands, like does it prompt the command, or we have to type in the command directly?
No, it'll prompt. You can just do tab, it'll auto complete. You can do question mark, it can suggest.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. And these are the trunk parameters that you can modify usually, like, the frequency, the baud rate, the chromatic dispersion range, search range, and transmit power, and then the threshold for alarms and stuff. So these are most of this covers most of the parameters that we usually configure in the trunk. And there are, I think, like some commands mentioned here, like how you want to check. So when you configure the line card, you execute this particular command to check like whether the line card is provisioned or not. So the provisioning status and all the client port to line port mappings, which all client ports are there, what are the interface names, that will be part of this output. And each optics, you can check like, the what like your CD value, your RX power frequency, everything can be checked in this show controller optics command. And power values can be checked for the client optics. And as I said, like since this is not a pure OTN, we have mapped something called as a coherent DSP. So all your OTN equivalent parameters like FEC values and SCS, ES, those kind of parameters, TTI, all those alarms can be monitored in the show controller coherent DSP. So
So
this
that
is,
include the O2, ES, SCS, US,
yeah, correct. That is
these
right.
parameters, right? Okay.
Yeah, that's right. And similarly for the Ethernet, it is modeled as 100 gig Ethernet controller, 100 gig controller. So all your Ethernet parameters like your RX packets and all the Armon packets and the PCS counters, and if the Ethernet is having a FIC, those FIC related counters will be part of this particular command.
The CRC errors on the packets and all, are these
Yeah,
parameters
that's right.
included?
Yeah, yeah, all
So,
these
so
are part of that.
it will show everything in together, or we have to select each parameter next in the command.
No, so there are three groupings. So all the packet counters are one, Ethernet packet counters, and all the PCS layers are in a separate command. I mean, in a separate option, and all the FIC related parameters are in a separate bucket.
Okay, so these are the like the real time PMs,
Yeah,
right?
real-time parameters.
If you
That
want
is
to go
right.
to the history PMs, how much history PM does it cover for
So
4 hours, 8 hours?
in the system, we usually like there are like I think 8 hours, right? Like because 30 to 15-minute buckets and
Yeah.
one day history bucket is what is stored. So the PMs also like we have like 10 seconds and 30-second buckets as well. So Google usually uses 10 seconds. So there are 10-second buckets as well for PMs here.
So what's the like, command to check that?
Just after this, the same show controller, after that, you have to add like PM and then like current interval 15-minute or history 15-minute like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is
To
with
see the
respect to
PM,
NCS
which command is
1002.
that? Which command?
Yeah,
Show
same show
controller.
controller commands. After that, you have to add like PM and then you have to type. So if you just do show controller 100 gig Ethernet, it'll just show the status, right? Like whether FIC is configured, whether loopback is configured, or just give me 1 second. I can pull in one node and show it faster so it's easier for you
Yes,
to,
yes.
yeah. So if you see here, right, show header module location, all responders. So if you see here, like, yeah, for example, uh, this is the slot 3, right? So you can see that slice 0 is configured here and slice 1 is configured here. So slice 0 is like 100 gig client and 400 gig line rate. So you have like four Ethernet controllers like 2, 3, 4, 5 connected to this coherent DSP, which is port 0 trunk. And here like 6, 7, 8, 9 ports connected to coherent DSP 1. So just the mapping it shows. Um, So why this 100 is basically 100%. So when you have like a client splitting between two coherent DSPs, it will show like, this is going to this coherent DSP 50% and this going to this coherent DSP 50%. So just for that representation. Or if you don't have line card configured, so it will show something like this, like, none, not provisioned. And this is one thing. And,
Can
if you
you
want to,
just maximize your window
I
little
mean,
bit?
you want, okay, do you want the font size to be increased?
Yes, yes.
Or you can have a
Yes.
smash.
Is that okay?
Yeah, 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 okay, okay.
Sorry. Yeah. So I'll go on to show controller 100 gig. I'll start with 100 gig Ethernet, like probably 0302. I don't know which port is active in this. Oh yeah, looks like this is act. Okay, this is not active. 3, 4. Sorry that there is nothing active, but yeah, what I can show is like this is the command, like, it shows the current status, right? You can see that what is the maintenance state, what is the LED operational state, and what is the active alarm on this port, like, there is a local fault on this, and what is the current statistics of FIC and PCS counters, and whether like loopback is enabled, FIC is enabled, hold off timer is enabled. And if you want PM, like, just check current 15-minute. Uh, so this is what I said, like you have different categories of PM counters. So if you want like Ethernet packet counter, you do Ethernet. So you get all this RX utilization percentage and, all the all these PM counters are usually counted. So input
What is the
bucket,
command to check the alarms on the node?
show alarms, brief system active. Usually this is the command. So you get all this alarms. Yeah.
Okay, and if I want to check a alarm on the specific card
So
output.
what we usually do is pipe include like card number is 0/3. If you do like it shows whatever is there on 0/3. So yeah.
And if I want to check the there's a show controller command to check the details of a specific port. If I want to change the configuration, what's the command to change the configuration? Like if I want
So
to enable or disable a flag.
yeah, so configuration is something you have to go inside this config prompt, and you will usually go something like this controller 100 gig Ethernet and 0/032 like port number, and here like you can do like fake none, something like that. Yeah, got it right. And then like you will do like commit.
To commit, right? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, and for clearing the current counters on the PM.
yeah, it will be like clear controller, whatever the same.
Okay, same router
Yeah,
based commands, right?
to PM. Yeah, you can do question mark. It should tell you like 15 minutes you can clear, or you can clear all the buckets. So similarly, like when you do show controller optics like 0300, so this is the line port. So you can see that, a little bit more details here, like, what is the modulation used, what is the bits per symbol baud rate used, what is the current dispersion values, OSNR, those kind of values. And similarly, you can do coherent DSP
What was
0300.
that command?
Yeah, show controller optics is the command to check this. So show controller optics. You can check this frequency configured stuff as well. So, and you go to same way show controller coherent DSP, you get all the states, and you get the what is the prefect bear, Q margin factor, Q factors, and TTI data fake configured means if it is configured. Yeah. So again, like you can append PM here, current 15-minute. So if you want fake PMs, you get all the fake PMs here. You get OTN PMs, ES, you get here. And I think other one is PRBS. So yeah, PRBS is not configured, so it will not come. So
Okay.
yeah,
And
so
the command for checking the inventory.
oh yeah, show inventory. So just it gives you overall inventory. So you just want to check particular card, like show inventory location 0/3 you can give. So this is like the card, and this is all optics.
Okay, so where is the serial number and part code here? Serial number is SN and the PID is the part code, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, how to check the configuration of the
Yeah.
means
So
already
check
that card
something
is
here.
configured for which?
Yeah. Show running config. So this is the overall config. This is what it'll look like. So the card configuration is the hardware module config. So you can see that hardware module 0/2 card is configured like slice 0 is configured 100 to 400. Slice 1 is configured 100 to same way like slot 3 slice 0 and 1 are configured like 100 to 400. Everything in this is 100 to 400.
No, no.
How
So
to
slice
how to
slice
con
rate is 400 means that the line port is 400 capacity, right? So we can use maximum 400 gig in this configuration
Yeah, in this
for each
config, it
slice.
is 400 gig. Yeah, per
Yeah,
slice. Yeah,
yeah.
How
per
to configure card?
This is the card configuration, right? Yeah.
No, no, this is a port module, like whole
There is
module.
no
If
configuration for card. There is no configuration for card. As soon as you insert a card, it will automatically come up, and this config is what matters. So if this config is applicable for multiple different cards, that card will come up. So there is no card specific configuration here.
no, no. um, If I want to delete that card and I want to configure on the other card, it
That's what, like, there is, okay, there is no need of explicit card configuration here. But again, you can still do like this hardware module uh, hard type. Sorry, one sec. Card got okay. This one. I forgot the command, but usually like nobody, we don't
I
use the
think
card
there is
that.
add command was there. I think so.
No, no, not that. Let's see, module location zero slash sim. No, this is not that. Yeah, so I'll try to get that. Usually, like that config is not needed. So,
So if I configure the port as a 40G or a 10G or 100 gig, what's the
mhm.
command for that? Client
40
port.
I mean,
Uh,
1004 you cannot configure individually ports, right? It is all like either 100 gig Ethernet or 100 gig OTU4, right?
yeah.
So uh, the client rate is what you will change. So instead of 100 gig, you will change it to OTU4 for the same.
Okay. So for 1002, there will be option, right, to configure the port.
1002 again, no, there is no port level options there as well, right? Because port is either 10 gig or 40 gig or 100 gig. You cannot configure like in a single slice like all combinations. So in a single slice, whether it will be a 10 gig slice or 40 gig slice or 100 gig slice.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the command to restart the card
No, no,
system.
but in 1002 you have shown na that one if our trunk port is 500,
Mm-hmm.
then one port would be 100G and another port would be 10G, right? So
No,
that's
no,
our
no, 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 no. All ports will be 100G, right? There will not be any 10G.
okay. I think you shown some 20 into 20 10G into 20 we can in that 1002 okay? 1002. So that is automatically. We
This one,
cannot.
yeah. This is all automatic, right? See, if you are consider like choosing this, under options, 10. So if you are choosing this, that means you have like one port of 200 gig in the trunk side, and the client side you have like 20 ports of 10 gig. So 20 ports means like each port takes like 4 10 gigs. So like 5 ports. So 5 into 4 into 10G. So that's how it is. Consider like you are choosing this particular mode. That means this is 250 gig, this is 250 gig, and each of this are 100 gig.
No, no. Here 20 into 10G, na? 20
Which
into
one?
10G. In
Here. Yeah.
first 10G. हाँ.
Yeah. So
So
in this case, this one will be 200G, and each of this port will have 4 10Gs, right?
okay. Means one SFP will be of 40G, right?
Yeah, 40G, exactly. So 4 cross 10G.
4 cross
Like,
10G. No,
yeah.
4 cross 10G. But only 40G would be the output, right? And we have to connect this.
Okay, it is not a single 40 gig. That's what I was trying to say that time as well. So when you configure it as 10G, it is 4 10 gigs per QSFP. So internally there will be like the QSFP
No, but one SFP will be the one, right? No,
SFP will be the one. Yeah, that
and
is true.
port also will be one, right?
Port also will be one. That is right.
And then we can divide into that splitter.
then it will be lanes. Like each
Yeah.
SFP will
Each
be having
QSFP has 4 lanes.
four
Yeah.
lanes.
So
That is okay. But here in port one, only one SFP will be there, right?
yeah, physically one SFP will be there, but internally each SFP has 4 10 gigs.
For 10 gigs. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in our network, we have used, right now.
Yeah. Yeah. You have used something like this configuration you have
So,
used.
so how to means if you want to change some configuration 20 into 10G to
Mm-hmm.
this previously it was a 10G, then again if you want to change to 100G, then configuration need to change or what?
Yeah, you have to remove the configuration and configure 100G. That's it. So same hardware module, you will do a no hardware module for that particular slot slice, and then you will configure like hardware module slice one, like client rate is 100 gig, trunk rate is 250 gig, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So just do no of this and then like redo the config again. So
So no hardware module location after removing all the configuration.
yeah, exactly. Depends, right? So you can just do no till 0/2. That should be enough. And then like you can configure everything again because these are all like sub configurations of hardware module location 0/2. So got it? Clear?
Okay. So just can you just show the command of PM of 24 hours and PM of uh,
Oh yeah.
uh, it will show PM of how much? 8 hours?
Yeah. 15, okay, if history is what you want to see, right? So if you want to see history, 15 minutes OTN, or let me do fig, right? It'll have some value at least. So you can do like 1 to 32, something like this. If you want 24 hours, it is like only one bucket, right? Only one history bucket. So you just need to press enter. So it will be like one history bucket.
1 meter, 1 meter.
Yeah.
So control for DC PM history 1 meter.
कशाला हिरोगिरी करते हो? तुला त्याचे पैसे पैसे बरोबर टाकण्याचे.
PM history, then 24 hour fake.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
this will show
yeah. So after
24 hours.
24 hour, you can do a question mark. So there are three kinds of PMs. So if you want like OTN PM, you do OTN and check like ES, SES counters. And if you want like yeah, fake
So
counters.
this will
Yeah.
give 24 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, from 00 to this one next
Yeah.
00, right?
Yeah. That's right.
And if I want to show 1 hour back history, then
1 hour back history means like you have to go like 15 minutes, right? So you
means
will go to 15 minutes and then like bucket is like 1 hour back bucket will be like 4, right? Something like that.
okay,
So something like this. So if my current clock is like I think 12:30, right? So you want 11:30. So it's like 4 if you choose. Each is 15 minutes. So each
so
4
I have to
buckets.
back 4.
Yeah, 4 is so you have to do something like this admin and then like hardware module location 0 slash like 3 or let me do this 2 and reload. This is the command. We can do no prompt or something. So just press enter. Oh God. Yeah. Something like this.
So no prompt is like this will not give a prompt. Yes or no prompt will not will
Yeah,
give.
correct. Yeah, that is right. Yeah.
Okay, so if there is any slice made on that card, will it take a reload, or will it say that cross connections are traffic is running on this card? Will it give some
If you
prompt like that?
don't do no, so if you don't do no prompt, it will tell. If you do no prompt, it will not tell anything.
Okay, so no prompt is kind of a force restart.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah. I mean, force will again tell that it will take down traffic, but no prompt will not tell anything.
First, we need to go to admin and then hardware module, right?
Yeah, that's right. Admin and then
No,
hardware module. So this is another command that you guys need to be aware of. Show
no,
platform.
no prompt. What is the meaning of this? No prompt.
पता है ना वो अपना
Okay, let me show you directly, right?
yes
So
or no
hardware
reload
module
करके.
location 0/0. So if I do this right, reload, just if I do this, it is asking like reloading the module will be traffic impacting if not properly drained, continue to reload, yes or no. So I can do yes or no here, right? But when you do no prompt, it will not ask this, it will directly go and reload it.
So you know don't need to commit right after this command.
Yeah, I don't need to commit it. Yeah, only the configuration is something you have to commit. All these are called exec operations. You don't need to commit.
Okay.
Action commands. Yeah.
So
No,
so these options like the offline, take a hardware module offline for diagnostics is like disabling the PM. I say.
It's like shutdown. You can consider it's like a shutdown. So, uh, this is a, as I said, like this is a common operating system for routing and optical products. So there are some functionalities implemented in routing for offline. So it is used there. So in our platform, ideally, like a reload is what usually used. You can use shutdown otherwise.
So like
So
we in normal reload equipments we have a warm restart and a cold restart.
yeah, so
So
for that
reload.
you need to do no after for the warm reboot you need to reload warm. So that will do that.
Okay.
Non-traffic impacting reload.
Okay. Reload warm, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And shutdown will be a cold restart, like the power shutdown.
Yeah, shutdown is power shutdown.
And what is the reset? Reset also is a power shutdown.
Yeah, so again, like this is a common commands used for multiple platforms. So that's why like you see bunch of commands that are duplicate also probably. But
Okay.
yeah, what we usually here is usually uses reload and shutdown is can be used if needed. I mean, if you want to power off an LC, you can use shutdown. So uh, resets are not needed here. Resets offline, online are not needed for this.
So I can enable disable single port too, right? The trunk port or the client port.
Yeah, that's right. So for that, that is like a configuration driven. It's not like one port. So you go to like port, like you want to do a controller optics like 0300 shutdown, something like this you will do.
Okay.
Yeah, this is
so,
a config driven. Yeah.
so reload and reset are same, no? Or-
Yeah, so you can ignore reload. This is something not implemented in this platform. It is supposedly for a different platform. So you use, sorry, reset is not used. So you use reload only or shutdown. So either of these two.
So re-enabling the port will be no shut, right? Command.
Yeah, that's right. Like you can do like so there are two ways in XR like controller optics like 0302 and then you do shut and commit, right? This is one way of doing it, or you can do it in like one line like controller optics 0300 shutdown, something like this, and then commit. So this is another way. Or again, like if you want to do no, you can do everything in a single line like no controller optics shutdown, or you
No
can do
controller
another
shutdown or
command.
control optics no shutdown. It works either
No,
way.
when you put a no here, you don't need to put a no at the end. So
Okay.
because this no is for the shutdown command when you're
Okay.
doing it first. Otherwise, if you want to do it in a separate way like this, you do enter and then here you can do no shutdown if you want. So basically, the shutdown is like a subcategory under controller optics. So if you enter, you are entering that controller tree and then you are shutting down. But if you are entering from the main config prompt, you can just enter everything in the single line. So depends on how you prefer. Yeah. If you are doing an automation, everything you will usually do in a single line, but people sometimes, if they want to do it via CLI, they might do it like tree wise, like enter and then do. So
And can you show the commands for checking the users and creating a new user for the CLI, like read, write, read user?
yeah, yeah. I mean, if you are using EPNM, it is very simple there. You will automatically create it. But otherwise, like this is the username configuration. So this is how it is, like you have to configure. So you will configure like username, like test1, like you have to assign a group. So like root group, and you have to like assign a like a secret or password. You have to enter an unencrypted password like test1 2 3 4 5. Just need to commit it. So that's how it is.
So there are no read, write, writes, right? Like edit writes, read writes.
It is there. So that's the group, right? So when you do user and then you assign a group, so you have to select a group. So you can select like an operator, which will be mostly like only read.
Mm-hmm.
So you can choose a root group, which can be everything. You can choose a read-only group. So he can choose like read everything. Operator will cannot read everything. He will have like specific commands that he can read and write. So
Okay, okay.
yeah.
And do you have a test equipment for the NCS 1001? We need to.
I mean, yeah, do you want to check some commands? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah, 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 same. Yeah, this is 1001. Yeah.
So if I need to check the power values of the amp and the PSM.
Oh, yeah. Let
One.
me let me show that, right? So consider like show hardware module, location, like you have like show slash one here. Oh, sorry. I think you have to do like this slot one here. So, okay. So now, as Charlie, you have so yeah. So you have like individual port level monitoring, right? So if you want to see like per port, you can do something like this: show controller OTS 0100, and then like you will see like this is the parameters, right? So you want what is the gain, tilt, amplifier, channel power, what is the RX power and TX power will be here, RX power, TX power and stuff. Um,
This RX
if
and TXR are for the amplifier, right?
Yeah, this is for the port one, sorry, port zero. So this is the COM port. So this is like a COM RX, this is COM TX. But usually what we do is something like this, slot one, star summary if you do. So it displays like this. So it gives you like a view of this, like port zero type is COM port, what is the TX power, what is the RX power, and the line port, what is the TX power, what is the RX power. Gain also is displayed here, and OSC, like what is the RX power, TX power, and COM check port, what is the RX power. So you get all this in a single view. So you can do something like this as well for overall summary. So you get like all the amps and the PSMs displayed in a single port, a single command.
So you went into display T mode, or it automatically it will show in table module.
No, no,
No,
this
it will automatically, when you do the summary command, it will show in a table mode.
Okay.
Yeah, it is same in 1004 as well. So when you go to show controller sorry, show controller optics star summary. So if you have multiple line ports, it will show this summary port where each of this individual like ports will be like you can see here, right? Like Each port power is shown. Uh, if it is trunk port, it is shown like this with frequency or wavelength values. So that's how it is summary. So here also it's
So in the
similarly.
in the OTS there is no provision to show span loss directly, right?
Yeah, that's right. There is no, it has to be, I think,
Calculated manually.
no, not manually. So there is, yeah.
How
So,
can you show us? Command.
I mean, it will show when you do this one. And yeah, here there is this TX and RX span loss. So you can see that
Showing
if you
NA, right?
configure correctly. It is not configured here. So you need to have some configurations telling what is the remote port OSC kind of configuration. In your setup, that configuration is made, so you'll be seeing that span loss.
So where can we see that? Like if I want to check the amp far end, is it configured or not? The details of the specific amplifier ports, like internal connectivity will be there and the line side connectivity will be there.
So let me show you, right? See, this is the default configuration that we usually use for an amplifier. So you tell like it is operating in a gridless mode or something, and then like you tell what is the channel with each channel you can configure something like this. And here itself, you will tell like what is the uh, remote IP address to which this amp is connected. So if you configure that, it will show the span loss. Unfortunately, this node does not have,
No,
but
where it is for?
sorry, it will show up in the same command, like which is the what is the span loss, but the configuration is something you will do here on this hardware module. So let me just pull up the configuration for
What
hardware
is the
module.
command to see the span loss? What that command?
Same show controller OTS, right? The span loss is shown only on the line port, not on the COM port. So if you do like show controller OTS line port 0101, it will show the span loss here. Just the span loss needs the config, certain configs, to identify what is the remote port. So that configuration needs to go in to display this value. Otherwise, it will come as any. So I would like to show that probably directly NCS 1001 span loss. So yeah, so usually like for all Cisco products, I think it is much. I think no other people usually have everything documented, but as you saw, like I just did span loss NCS 1001 in Google. So open the first link usually you get how the span loss is calculated and all the configuration related to it. So I think 99% of the feature should work here. So in this way, so it specifies like what is the config needed. So in the hardware module, you have to config like slot and just configure ampli span loss and then like the type of operation of the amplifier mode. And you have like this is one particular configuration that is needed, which is like it tells like what is the remote node, what is the IP address of remote node and the local node and the slot to which it is connected. So this configuration is needed to display the span loss. So if that is configured, it will display something like this. So in your config in your nodes, this config is already there, so you can just go and check the span loss. It should work. That clear? Hello?
Is there any adjacency we define? Like,
Yeah. So usually the OSC ports are enabled with OSPF, so you will see the OSC
means
adjacency. So
if someone mismatch the fibers, so will get any alarm or like that. Means
I mean, you will
any
not get an.
expected trace already we put here in.
I mean, consider like if you are connecting slot one to slot three and slot three to
No, no,
slot one.
not internal.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, other end also.
No, other end also, right?
For
see, it
other
is not
end,
mandatory.
any
You see, it is
expected trace is there for here?
no, no, that's what I am. What I mean is like other end also, it is not forced that you have to connect only slot one to slot one, right? Because it is all light. So if you connect slot one to slot three also, as long as it is receiving power, it will continue to work. So you cannot tell like this is connected wrongly if you connect slot one to slot three, because at the end both of them are amplifiers. So you cannot tell that it is a wrong connection. So you will not
No,
raise
no.
any alarm in that
After
case.
connecting, after all configuration, is there
Yeah.
any way to configure as this? This is the other side which is connected here. Like we make fiber, no, internal fiber.
Mhm.
So that time we define a adjacency.
So if consider like you have connected slot 1 of near end side A to slot 3 of side B, and you
Uh,
have configured this slot 1 OSC to slot 1
Not
OSC for
OSC, any in amplifier or in OSC, is there any way to define this adjacency, or in Cisco there is nothing?
I mean, see, okay, see the OSPF config that you are defining is per OTS port, right? It is per line card. So that is how the OSC will get discovered. So if you will see OSPF adjacency only if the line cards are connected directly. If they are not connected directly, obviously you will not see the OSPF adjacency forming. So if you're not, but we will
Okay,
not
okay,
raise
okay.
any alarm for that. We will not raise
No,
any
no,
alarm for that,
no.
but your OSPF will not discover it.
If OSPF is up, then if OSPF is down, then what would be it will show OSPF down.
You will not have any alarm that OSPF is down. No, you will not have any
If
alarm.
the connectivity between, if there is a cut, okay, and
Mhm.
my OSPF gets break, right, in both
Yeah.
directions. So is there any what alarm will get?
No, you will not get any alarm for that. No, there is no alarm raised for.
No, no. Like
You get
Guru
alarm
is
related to
asking
fiber cut,
in
but
case
not
of fiber
OSPF.
cut, what all will the alarms will get?
Oh, in case of fiber cut, you will get like there is a loss of signal on the amplifier port, so you will get like loss of continuity alarm and loss of payload alarm.
Do you have that list with you? The alarms list?
Oh yeah, so that list is with me as I mean not in this presentation, but it is again like that is also part of the overall slide I can share. So shooting.
But I think
So
it's there on the web itself. Once just you type
yeah,
alarm management for Cisco,
so
you get that.
that's what like you get the different list of alarms for this platform here. So when you go to this troubleshooting guide, so you get like power level alarm like RX LOC. So can somebody mute? I think someone. Okay. Yeah. So loss, LOC, LOSP, and different alarms based on the threshold. This is based on the threshold. So like if the traffic is switched to protect, you get an alarm. Obviously, if there is a over temperature, you get an alarm. So all this list of
No, no.
alarms are
Can
disclosed
can
here.
you two three scenarios can you explain? Like in case of fiber cut, what ports will get what alarms? Like there will be a alarm on the OSC port 2. There will be a alarm on the AMP port and a subtending PSM port. So can you explain that way, scenario
Oh,
based?
okay. Okay. So understood. So let me go this.
And one more query I had. You when you log into CLI, it is SSH. What is the command to log into the node?
You can SSH, yeah. SSH, yeah.
SSH. What they're saying under command which is there for
Yes.
login? Like SSH, the username at the rate IP or something like that.
I mean, yeah, SSH is common protocol. It is same for all the any platform that supports SSH. You can use SSH, you can use Telnet if
No, no.
uh,
Can you
yeah.
just in the putty can you log in a node from the scratch? Like the credentials, how it asks the credentials. Just want to see that.
Okay, I'm using Telnet. That's what is present here.
Okay.
So
So can you show me SSH? How will you do?
let me try whether this node has SSH. I hope
Okay.
this has, yeah, something like this.
Okay. SSH, the username at the rate IP, right?
Yeah, yeah. And okay, scenario based alarm. I think like I don't have any documents prepared for that. I can try to get it out.
I have one query.
PDF
Actually,
format.
as you
Yeah.
hello, I have one query. Actually, you told that there is no trace, something like that. Then, how we come to know this amplifier is connected to which amplifier? I mean, in amplifier is connected to foreign amplifier slot one or slot two. How we come to know?
In the sense, in the EPNM, you can create a link between each of those. You
So it
will
is auto
manually create.
populated or
Create
manually we have to create?
Ah, right. Because when
you
we
will manually create.
make
Yeah.
a link in EPNM, you should configure adjacency. So then only we
Because
can
if we
make a
if adjacency is not
topology.
there, then it always we have to refer the document key where it is connected like that, or
Right.
SFD, some LLD is there, some connectivity diagram we have to refer every time. If
Right.
in trace is available in EPNM, then we can easily
No,
identify.
EPNM should allow have you the link connectivity within this 1001 to this 1001. I
No,
okay.
but to have a
Uh,
link connectivity, there should be some adjacency need to configure in node, right? Or it
no,
will be there.
that's what I'm telling. This is a static connectivity that you define. There is nothing downloaded to the node with respect to link details. So what you have there in the EPNM is something that only the EPNM knows. That detail is not downloaded to the node.
So the connectivity between 1001 to 1004,
Yeah.
you will always make a logical virtual links, or it will
Yeah.
auto.
It is a logical virtual link. It is not an automatic link.
So mint and internal part, like if it
Within
is
the
a one.
1001, within the 1001, that is also a virtual link.
Okay, that is also virtual link.
Yeah, that's right.
You don't detect, okay,
No,
automatically.
it's not an automatic link. Yeah, that's right. It's not an automatic link. In 1001 platform, it's not an automatic link. Obviously, yeah, we have other platforms that supports topology discovery, but yeah, this is not that.
Okay. And how to
Yeah.
see the temperature of the node? Temperature
Okay.
and
So
firmware.
you go to usually like you go to admin and then like you do show environment temperature. Yeah. So you have multiple places that you have to check again. If none of them are so usually if anything is crossing the value, it will have like star here in the starting. So and an equivalent alarm also will be raised. So you don't need to check temperature unless like you see an alarm. But yeah, if you want to find what is the temperature, you can check like this.
Can you just maximize your font? Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, what was the command you showed?
Show env and environment temperature under the admin. Show environment temperature.
So this is the temperature populated from the controller card or specific line cards.
So you're seeing the location here, right? So for each of this location, the corresponding sensors are populated. So this is the controller card. So these are all the line cards. So 0/0 here is the chassis backplane. So in 1001. So
So how can we set the temperature threshold?
you cannot set the temperature threshold. So these are internal temperature, right? So The temperature threshold is decided by the device, not by the user.
So what is like the normal operating range of this? Like if there is a high temperature issue at site, how will you like
Is it is
analyze?
it is it is mentioned here, right? For each of the sensor, it displays what is the critical high temperature that it should not cross. So that is already here. So if it is increasing and if it is crossing, you will get an alarm. And if it is crossing the major, you will get an alarm. If it is crossing the critical, usually the module shuts itself automatically.
Okay.
And if you
Yeah.
want
That
to see
means
the fan status, then if the fan is running in full speed.
Yeah, so this is show environment fan. You will see the fan speed here. It does not say it is what speed, like I mean like whether it is maximum or minimum speed or a percentage wise, but this is the fan speed. This currently is running at full speed.
क्या
Yeah.
अपना एक ट्रेस रूट मारना उसको जो विजिबल नहीं है उसका ट्रेस रूट मारना अटैक रहा है हाँ सर्वर से ट्रेस रूट मारो दे दो उसको
so here it will show environment fan means these
It
are the
shows the fan speed, yeah. This is the fan speed, like this number.
14,000.
Yeah,
Here it will not show any maximum minimum. No, right?
Yeah, this does not show whether it is maximum or minimum. But again, like if the fans are running at maximum speed, like let me go to 1001, show
bro, it
alarm.
must be always, it must be around 12:30 a.m., right, at your place?
One
Yeah,
1 o'clock.
12:30, yeah. 12:30,
Yeah.
yeah. 12:30 a.m. Yeah, so include fan. So usually like if the fan is running at maximum speed, right, it'll raise an alarm telling like for so and so reason like fan is running at max speed.
Yeah, Manish, I think you might have to go through all this, and in case if anything, you might have to go through hands-on basically. Key things which you wanted to support, wanted to have support on a day-to-day basis, at least that you have it now. So anything
Use
else?
the command show env command, na? Show env fan. In that, you can get all the detail of the fan. Show env fan. Put a command there.
Sorry, like is that a question?
It means for the fan status, na? We can put
Yeah.
the command there. Show env fan. Okay, environment fan. You get all the detail of that fan. Means is efficiency and
No, but minimum speed and maximum speed we wanted.
yes, everything we can get, na? In that
No, no,
command.
no, no.
No, you won't get what is the minimum or maximum speed in that command. You will get what is the speed of the fan now.
Fan
That's what
zero
you get.
fan.
Yeah.
One query, Guru. Like if we are trying to local log into the node, we plug into the console port, right?
Mm-hmm.
And log into the console port. Do we need to assign any IP, or directly we have to put in the node IP and then to log in?
No,
But
console is basically you are connecting directly to the CPU, right? So that
hmm.
means, I mean, you have to connect your cable from your PC to the uh, uh, system directly and then log in via putty. So I think like Lavanya here showed it to some people here probably. If not, like Lavanya can show it directly how you do log in via console.
Yes.
You don't need
Yeah,
IP
Vikas.
for that.
Yeah, Vikas. So what is the procedure to do the console login?
Okay, okay.
Okay.
So we need DB9 cable, right? DB9 to USB.
No, no, console cable is provided by Cisco.
No. This console cable is not
No,
provided.
no. Console cable having Ethernet port, one in Ethernet port, another in DB9, right? So, to connecting laptop, we need some converter, right? USB
No, no.
to DB9. Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm telling. Because if it is a Ethernet port, we can't directly connect to our Ethernet port and sign some IP. We can do. No, no. My question is console port is Ethernet port, right? That is Ethernet. And my laptop is also having Ethernet. So directly we can connect LAN cable, na? Why
No,
we
no,
need
no, no.
just very we can't do. Okay, okay,
So,
fine,
so in
fine.
this case, we need a RJ45 to DB9 converter, and again DB9 converter to USB converter, right?
No, that
Correct.
that console can will come with device, na? Each and every device.
Anil,
No,
do you
Actually,
have a console cable, Anil?
but
Anil,
Anil, are you
no,
there?
Anil.
Yeah,
Anil
one
Chavan.
question here. I
The
think
cafe is there ना कैफे
यस सर, यस सर।
कंसोल केबल है क्या उधर को दिया गया है क्या?
हम लोग के पास नॉर्मल कंसोल केबल है।
wait,
नहीं,
give us some.
प्रोसीजर वहाँ पे बताया गया, कंसोल केबल से लॉगिन करने का प्रोसीजर बताया गया आपको?
यस सर, यस सर। वी हैव डू द लॉगिन। ये नॉर्मल सर, नॉर्मल लॉगिन होता है जैसे अपना और भी कोई
हाँ,
स्विच की चीज।
नॉर्मल DB9 मार्केट में मिलता भी है, बट इनिशियली Cisco provided those cables. Other
इट
हाँ
शुड
vendors
बी
didn't
प्रोवाइड,
provide.
इट शुड बी
So nowadays cross cutting, cross cutting.
नहीं each product console
Yes,
cable should be there ना.
yeah. For all vendors are providing.
So
Okay,
then
so that is in
Cisco should
PO.
provide ना.
No, that doesn't come under the device. You have to procure it
It's
separately.
easily available in the
Yeah,
market.
yeah. That
Amazon
we know.
also you can
That I know. This is okay. Fine.
Manish Chaudhary.
So you plug in the console cable and then select the COM port and directly log into the port. What's the credentials we put in? And it will directly log in. It will not ask for credential. So what will the credential to be put in?
पुट्टी सर, पुट्टी।
we have given all the credentials to EPNM team.
So it will be the root credential that will be put
यस
in.
सर, यस। आई थिंक इट वाज रूट।
Okay, fine.
No, how to see the software of the show software only? Pro version, okay. So in 1004 there are two CPU, two
All these
controller cards.
platforms has only one controller cards.
Acha 1001, 1002, 1004 all are having one
Yeah,
one
that's
controller
right.
card only.
Yep.
So if anything gets faulty and if we have a spare, then it will automatically upgrade.
1004, yes, but 1001 and 1002 it will not upgrade automatically. We have to do manually.
But while upgrading, it will go
Oh,
down.
sorry.
In
Sorry.
1000,
So device is not supporting redundant
Sorry.
controller card device.
No, there is no redundant controller card. And yeah, all these platforms, like you change CPU, it should automatically work with the latest software. Yeah.
Okay, even we have
no.
we have a laser release in my spare in stock.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, is it sure?
1004, I'm sure. Let me come back for 1001 and
Because
1002.
because
It should be same, but
from
I think that's
from where it will take the software?
so.
From which card it will
In
take the software?
1004, what happens in 1004 is we have a backup SSD in the chassis. So whenever you insert a new CPU, the image is backed up. The backed up image is baked into the CPU during boot time itself, as soon as you insert. But for 1002 and 1001, the SSD is present in the chassis only. So if CPU goes bad, it doesn't matter because the images already in the SSD in the chassis. So if anything happens to the chassis, you have to replace a new chassis, then you have to start fresh.
No, that chassis. Where is the software in chassis? In which card?
It's on the chassis SSD card,
Acha,
not on
you
any
mean to
laptop. Yeah.
say in chassis there is
Mhm.
one what you said? SSD.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Inbuilt SSD is there.
Yeah, that's right.
And you mean to say all the software package is already saves in that SSD by default.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So when we insert a new control card, is there any command to put a software or automatically
No,
it will take it from SSD?
automatically it will take it from that SSD.
So this is for 1004.
For 1004, it is like that. For 1002 and 1001, the controller card is just controller card. There is no image present in the controller card. So the controller card will always boot from the image that is present in the chassis.
No, but when we insert a new
It does
card,
not matter because the
then
image is present in chassis. So whichever, how many ever new cards you insert, the image is present in chassis.
1001 also you are saying, right?
Yeah, 1001, 1002.
So where that image saves in chassis,
SSD.
same SSD. Acha, all three have a SSD, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Is it removable SSD? If SSD goes faulty, then what we can do?
You have to change the chassis. RMA the chassis. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So any alarm will come if that SSD gets faulty, or so
So
SSD.
if the system is up and running and the SSD gets faulty, right? It depends on what kind of fault it is. Because if the SSD is faulty, that means like your system itself cannot run. So your system
Okay.
will be down. So you'll not have any alarm to see it. But consider if it is a minor problem, like you get a certain partition corruption, you will get an alarm like, okay, this functionality is not working.
So in SSD, backup also present by default, or
Yeah, so 1002 and 1001, there is no backup SSDs. There is only one SSD, and that is there in the chassis. In 1001, we have two SSDs, one in CPU card, one in chassis.
1004,
So,
four, right?
yeah, correct.
One.
One there. So each of them acts as a backup for the other. So if one goes down, the other will back it up.
I think you're too much brain now, Guru. It's already almost 1 a.m. now there. Uh, I hope team you have pulled this one. So is there anything more pending, or you can have hands-on and team can support here later
No,
on?
so with the details given by Guru, we can do hands-on. Just we need the alarm flow. What kind of alarms will be coming on, in which scenario, that is to be discussed. Otherwise, baki rest we can log into Node and check ourselves and explore ourselves.
Basically, you're asking
Yeah.
if any alarm comes, or if any issues are there. For example, the fiber cut is there. What are the list of alarms we should see? So
Yeah.
based
So
on
what
kind
port
of
will
thing.
generate what alarm so that we can correlate it that is due to fiber cut or some internal patching issue. So that there will be different set of alarms for each scenario, right? So
And
Understood.
also hardware
I'll
related
send those
alarms.
details. Yeah.
Also
I'll send
hardware
those
related.
details. Yeah.
We will send those details. No worries. Yeah, we
Yeah.
will send
I
those.
think that is something I can send. Like I can put like two, three scenarios. Like if like line side fiber cuts, what happens? And if
The key
com
major
side,
issues which
yeah.
which are really critical ones, and they need to address it immediately or no immediately.
yeah. So if we have logged into the 1002, 1001 node, just show us the command to manual switch on the PSN. I need to do a manual switch.
Yeah, this is the command.
Okay. Hardware module slot 2.
The session is recorded, so no issues.
You have to do like working or protected. Yeah.
And we have to release it too after doing it.
Just enter, that's it. No commit or anything. Just you have to enter.
No, but if you have to release that switch, do we need to release
No,
or it will
this is a
automatically release?
manual switch, right? This is a manual switch. So if you have to switch it back, you have to again switch it back to working in this command.
1 minute, 1 minute.
Yeah.
Right now I have logged into our network node. I'm not able to see the OTS far end trail or trace on the OTS. The command was show controller OTS, right?
Uh, Show controller OTS. Yeah.
Where do we see the trace? Like, is
What
it
trace?
visible?
What do you mean by trace?
Like the far end details. So where the OTS is connected to the far
You
end.
cannot see that in the device, right? That's what we were talking about before, right? You have to create a virtual link in the EPNM and then you can see it. Otherwise, in the node, you cannot really see. So the only thing you will see is like if you do a show OSPF neighbor, you can see like what is the neighbor connected via which interface.
So, how okay, and how to see the OPS port, which is active and which is active now? Same
Yeah.
show.
So show controller same when you do like OTS 0/2 summary, which command. So
Summary means
here,
active. It will show active or
yeah.
it will
So
show.
you see there is a status here, right? So it says like working is standby and protected is active. So you can see like this.
1 minute, 1 minute,
On,
1 minute.
yeah.
You're saying you.
Here, if you go to OTS 0201, so that port is the working port, but it is in standby mode now. And 0202 is the protected port, which is active now.
No, this
So
is
working and
with respect to the PSM you're saying.
yeah, correct.
Yes, with respect to your working and standby, protected active. So,
Yeah.
here, when we see here 02/0, so these are the two cards or these are the only one OPS port?
This is the
PSM.
OPS port in the PSM module, right? This is the COM port, this is the working port, this is the protected port.
Okay. So
Yeah.
00 is a COM port
Yeah.
and 01 is
01 is working, 02 is protected.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think you are also tired, Suraj. This really interesting now. I think you're more confident now with all these command lines known to all of you all. And since it's recorded, you can have a look at it again multiple times and work it along.
So Ramesh, I just had one query. Like if we are going to explore it further in our nodes, and if you have any query, whom can we connect with?
No, there we see we have Himanshu here also. We not have to go along every time with Guru now. Guru's he has explained everything. He is our senior, very senior most person. So he has given. So we have Himanshu. We have identified Himanshu and Jatin here. So
Okay.
they can help. We'll arrange those things across to you. No issues.
Okay. So just tell me the contact details of Himanshu and
Yeah,
Jatin
yeah.
personally. So if there is any query, I can directly ask them. I get
Right.
stuck from.
In
So
OPS, can we put an threshold? Threshold.
You can do that. Yeah. That threshold is what decides whether it will switch.
Here
So
it will not show any threshold in the summary.
summary, it will not show the threshold because the threshold is a configuration value you do, so it doesn't shows up here. So threshold is part of the controller OTS configuration. So you have to do the threshold configuration as part of this OTS ports like RF slow threshold.
So 00. Okay. So
Yeah.
running configuration control OTS. So if we want to see threshold of amplifier or any PSM model, we have to go into running
Show
config.
controller. Yeah, if you set it running config, if you don't set it, it'll be having a default value. So that will be like you can just do show controller command and then it should show what is the value of the threshold. Like if you see here, it is configured here is 0. So port 0 was not having any threshold, right? I think, yeah, it's a COM port, so it does not need any threshold. So 0301. So yeah, you will get to see the thresholds here configured, like whatever values.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good, then I think Guru, it's
Yeah.
1 a.m. now there. I think
Yeah, so I
done.
think, yeah. Guys, again, like, I know like there will be a lot of questions and it is very difficult for you guys without proper training. So,
Yeah.
uh, I mean, like, I'm sorry that I need to leave now, but feel free to, send us questions, anytime. And uh, I may be taking time to reply because in different time zone, but Jatin and Himanshu are there, like, they'll be able to revert quickly. But any concern, like, I have my team in India as well, so I'll hook up with the persons from there, so who test these products day in and day out, so they can help you immediately as well. So uh, yeah,
Yeah,
do
sure.
your hands on and let me know, like, if you guys need any more help, if at all needed, like we can do one more sessions later.
Sure, Guru, and thank you for this elaborative session. It was really helpful, and this will really help us to like explore the